Hello? Hello? Any homies in the chat? Meconium! How do you do? Meconium with a bass, but no Zeke with a bass cigar. That's kind of a surprise. How you guys are doing? As we have interesting stuff to talk about today. Hater Burger, what is up? Man, it's a... Let's see. It's a Sunday. Difficult day for people to show up on stream. I started extremely late. Fuck. I had so many things to do. Hater Jinta. Zeke was doing the laundry. Classic. Good to hear. Hater Ain Harry. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. What is up, everyone? Yeah, I had to start really late to stream. I hate starting streams late. It leaves me barely with any time to do something. Or like anything, really. I just like had something to do. God damn it. Man. So, today, guys, we have some very interesting videos to watch. And tomorrow we're just going to play. Tomorrow and the day after we're not going to do anything but gaming. We're just gonna do gaming. But today, since I have no time to play, unfortunately, we're just gonna watch some viewer recommended stuff. So if you have any video to recommend on Discord, feel free to do so. Farming League in PoE based. I wish I could have done that. Unfortunately, I cannot. But man, I had a good nap. I'm feeling good. Guys, we need to find something to play after I finish Warcraft 3. Guild Wars 2 days are going to remain the same until I finish the game, so we have a lot of time, that's good. But God bless, we need to hold on until World of Warcraft comes out. We need to... oh, fuck. We need to find something to do. Let's see this. Go here. TERA Classic. I think if it's a private server, then probably no. Probably no. I'm pretty sure it's like a private server, right? Yeah, rebuild, community mods. Yeah, it's a private server. So, we're not allowed to do that. It's breaking TOS. I don't want to do anything that breaks TOS. Yeah, I mean, obviously, if private server streaming was allowed, I would have been playing, like, Ascension with every other streamer out there. Because they playing Ascension down low. They keep it on the DL, but it is what it is. Can't afford to do that. But we have some interesting video recommendations we got, actually. So that's pretty good. I think we're gonna have a fun one. We can start with a World of Warcraft, just so we can get it out of the way, and then we have like TERA Classic and Ashes of Creation. Jesus, man, I'm excited. The Ashes of Creation video is going to be a fun one. I can already tell. Let's see, I hope it's not like too many. Nah, shouldn't be. We can just dive right into it. Usually, like, I wait for more people to tune in, but I guess we can just start. Let me just mute this. Man, guys, we're gonna have some great week. After we're done with today. We're gonna do, like, pure gameplay stuff. Maybe I'll find something to play. Maybe I'll just, I'll blaze through World of Warcraft 2 days from now. I mean Warcraft, sorry, not World of Warcraft. God bless, I'm not, there is not a single version of World of Warcraft that I would like to play. Quite literally nothing. So, unfortunately, there's that. But tomorrow, Guild Wars 2 is going to be exciting. Living World Season 4. But for today, we have some viewer recommendation videos. And God bless, I've been wanting to watch some of those. These are some interesting stuff. This is, like, generally speaking, like, about MMOs, so even if you're not familiar with World of Warcraft, you could definitely enjoy these. This is going to be good. I can already tell. This particular video, Billy, it's the Chinese stream thing, I think. Damn, that's cool. People told me to stream there. I don't know. Maybe one day. Definitely not today. Yeah, I used to watch Peon a long time ago, but his reputation got totally destroyed after those records of his paychecks for shielding Ashes of Creation. What? He has, like, records of, where do you find it? Can you send me a link? That's interesting. Is that, like, a real thing? I mean, he got like fat money for shilling for Ashes of Creation. Wait, that's kind of insane. I didn't know that. If you have any link, like link me on Discord. That sounds pretty impressive. I would have definitely liked to see that. Yo, Jormik, how do you do? What is up? We were just about to start the stream. There we go. We have some fun videos. I'll search base. Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate that. So, guys, we have some interesting videos. I'll just repeat it. We have an interesting video recommendation from viewers today. And we're going to start. We're just going to start. People will tune in later. Surely. It's fine. It's fine. So, anyway, first video. Guys, apparently China is already getting ahead of us in terms of World of Warcraft. God bless. I mean, that's crazy. What the fuck are we doing? Like, holy shit. I mean, what is this? Is it not enough that we already suffer in World of Warcraft as it is, waiting for a new expansion, and apparently China is getting ahead of us? What is that? Like, why are they getting a better version of the game? I want to play that version. It's insane. I heard a lot of things about it.
China is massive. Back in the 2000s, nearly 1 out of every 3 Warcraft players was from China. It's a huge region with hundreds of servers, thousands of stories, and most importantly, a ton of differences from the global version of the game. However, due to the relative isolation of Chinese Warcraft players, stories from over there rarely reach us, which is a shame because there's so much interesting stuff going on. Today, I want to open that door just a crack and talk about some of the wild scandals, dramas, and curious differences between the Chinese version and ours, as well as what's even happening over there right now. The Chinese and global versions of Warcraft have an insane number of differences. In the past, as I'm sure many of you have heard, the main difference was the character models. In the Chinese client, they were simplified and censored so that the
Bruh, they turned Sindragosa into a normal dragon? Damn, that's crazy. Okay, it's not Sindragosa, it's just like a normal, like, Wrath of the Lich King Drake, but God bless. Okay, this takes a lot from the experience, let me tell you that.
Local censorship.
Wait, it kind of defeats the entire purpose of Wrath of the Lich King. What did they get? Wrath of the Grain King?
Board would let World of Warcraft into the country's market. One way or another, you've probably seen how certain models in the game differ, but here are a couple of just funny examples. Skeletons quickly came under fire from censors because the theme of death wasn't really encouraged in China.
Oh, did you know that TERA was made by ex-Guild Wars students, really?
Of straw scarecrows, which replaced skeletons on altars, in crypts, and in basements. The corpses of fallen heroes in battle could also turn into scarecrows, and the more you run around the world, the more absurd it looks. See coffins? Straw scarecrows are sticking out of them.
World of Scarecrow. Wait, that's actually kind of cool. Okay, that's good. That's actually kind of funny. But it looks so out of place. You think every single place is Westfall.
Looked particularly bizarre in Outland. The warlocks of the Shadow Council are up to no good again, hatching sinister plans and performing a dark ritual on a scarecrow. And hilariously enough, right next to the ritual site sits an actual skeleton that the censors at Blizzard likely missed by accident. Ooh. Next to the ritual spot stands a small statue.
Bro, what is that? What is that even? What am I looking at? At this point, just remove the entire model. What's the point of censoring this? It just looks so ridiculous. What is that? God of Fortune? Oh, it's supposed to be like grain, actually. I thought it was like pile of gold. Okay, that's, that's just weird.
Our global version, it's a statue of a robed skeleton holding 2 skulls. In the Chinese version, instead of skulls, it's literally holding sacks of grain. Beyond the models, the Chinese region has a ton of exclusive rewards, events, and promotions. While back in the 2000s,
I heard about
this was limited to just a couple of exclusive pets. Nowadays, things have reached the point where they have entire custom game modes. The most famous one is Titan Reforged, a sort of classic version of the game that combines several expansions at once. Vanilla, The Burning Crusade, and Wrath of the Lich King. All high-level content is scaled to the maximum level 80. Raids unlock gradually, and not necessarily in chronological order. For example, Vanilla's Zul'Gurub and Trial of the Crusader from Wrath of the Lich King become available during the same phase, both tuned for level 80. On top,
they got Classic Plus before we do? What? Dude, that's crazy! What the hell is going on there? Why are we not getting such fun things? What the fuck? What? That's insane!
Of that, every week a random raid from across the 3 expansions is chosen to become available as well. The mode also introduced exclusive achievements, the ability to upgrade legendaries, and new currencies for reputation rewards. They even added a unique mount, Ashen Cataclysm, which uses Deathwing's model. Circling around the dragon,
I hate Blizzard. Man, I hate Blizzard so much. Guys, you will never be able to comprehend how much my disdain for Blizzard is. Like, you will never get it.
Are a few small whelps that serve as a blacksmith and a reagent vendor. As the icing on the cake, a new legendary blade appeared in the game, Malvolos, Shard of the Defiler. On proc, the blade inflicts a random debuff on the enemy and transforms the wielder into a demon.
What the fuck? That's
Granting an
sick!
extra attack power bonus for a few seconds. Another exclusive event took place during the Lunar New Year in early 2026.
Items.
During the event, players could earn a boatload of rewards, mounts, toys, and cool items. There was also an option to buy loot boxes, 8 of them for $135. These loot
Of course. Yeah. Okay, this is the part I've been expecting, more or less. Yeah, that makes sense. Wait, what is that? The loot box in 2025 was brought back with new rewards? Obtain up to 8 boxes for what? $135 while teaming up with other players and collectively spend at least $400. Each member will receive additional 4 boxes as a bonus, and you have 1.25% chance to get the following mounts? Whoa! I have to buy it! It's so cool! Oh my god! I need it! Let's see, 98% to get what? Azura Drakefire, Sandbox Horse, and Path of Cenarius. Surely, these are valuable items.
boxes contained high-value rewards such as the Spectral Tiger, the Love Rocket, and the previously mentioned Ashen Cataclysm with flying vendor whelp dragons. The drop rate for these prized mounts was 1.25%. With a nearly 99% chance, players would just get vendor trash. To celebrate the Lunar New Year, the Chinese community decided to host a 1-hour gala livestream featuring fan performances, cosplays, fan animations, and local Warcraft memes. No joke, respect to them for that kind of initiative. It was genuinely cool. Chinese Warcraft also hosts more unusual promotions, one of which was basically snitch on your neighbor and get a free mount. A couple of years ago, the Chinese publisher NetEase came up with an event. For reporting players who broke game rules, you were awarded special points that could be spent on items in the Blizzard shop.
Based.
To make it even more fun, NetEase even put up a leaderboard of the top snitches. The top reporter received 1,300 points, second place got 1,000, and third place got 700.
They did a chart of snitching? That's so good! Oh my god, no way! Imagine being a top snitch. That's crazy. I bet the top kick streamer was probably like top 3. That's crazy. Now, they will be good at it. Dude, that's insane. I can't believe they actually did that. How did we not heard of this until now? That's crazy.
On top of that, if players provided NetEase with solid proof of cheats, botting software, or other illegal programs that led to criminal charges, they received a bonus of $15,000.
Wait, what?
Legal programs that led to NetEase with solid proof of cheats, botting software, or other illegal programs that led to criminal charges, they received a bonus of $15,000.
When he said criminal charges, he means in real life? Over a video game? Or am I like missing something? Am I like misunderstanding? What do you mean legal charges? Over like using cheats in video games? Is this like a real life problem over there? Or I don't know. That sounds kind of extensive.
Why turn player reports into a full-blown competition? Jokes about snitching aside, my guess is
cheating in games is against the law there? Dude, you can get prosecuted for cheating? Oh my god. Wouldn't people just make accounts to hack on and report? You're thinking too meta. But you're absolutely right. Even though they can catch your IP or something, right? Unless you can, like, hide it. But that's insane. Okay, I actually didn't know that. We need that in the US for sure. You're gonna have incarceration levels of like 100%. Yeah, if you do this in in Eastern Europe, the entire country is going to be on lockdown. Like every single country. The entire continent is just going to be abolished.
NetEase was trying to combat the massive botting problem. By offering these incentives, they hope to spot as
Oh, you need ID to make an account, right? I forgot.
many bots as possible and ban them. How effective this campaign was is up for debate, but the very fact that it existed, complete with a leaderboard for top reporters, is pretty mind-boggling. Top-tier players in China could earn even bigger money. Normally, Blizzard doesn't offer any cash prizes for winning the race to World First. All raiders get is glory, support from sponsors, and viewers. But in China, the situation is different. As many of you know, due to disagreements between Blizzard and NetEase a few years ago, Warcraft became unavailable in China for
I still remember when they tore up the Blizzard statue. I remember that. Man, that was so funny. I bet Bobby Kotick heart actually dropped to the floor. Well, he doesn't really have one, I think, so maybe nothing happened. His wallet just became a little bit emptier.
a while. When the companies finally resolved their conflict and signed a new contract, the Chinese publisher celebrated Warcraft's return to the market with a lavish event. Any Chinese guild that takes first place in the race to World First would receive a massive prize, around $150,000 at the current exchange rate. What's more, if no one managed to clear the raid and claim the prize, the reward would increase by $30,000 with every new raid tier. Nothing like this had ever happened in World of Warcraft before. For NetEase, this was probably a win-win bet. Chinese guilds had never taken first place in the race to World First. Sure, they'd come close at times, breaking into the top 5, but they had never reached the #1 spot in the entire 20-year history of Warcraft. So NetEase generated massive media headlines without spending a single dime. By the time of midnight, the potential bounty had grown from $150,000 to $230,000, and it will likely keep rising with future raid content releases. Later on, to be fair, the reward program was expanded to include other top spots. For reaching the global top 3, guilds received a $75,000 bonus, which is still huge. Since Chinese guilds had actually made the top 3 in the past, this was a much more realistic goal. Furthermore, China received its own dedicated Hall of Fame. The top 50 Chinese guilds to enter it received exclusive physical rewards. Exactly what those rewards are is unknown, but there's nothing even remotely like this in other regions.
I mean, that's kind of cool, but you're turning the game way too competitive. Though I guess they, like, literally do not care. This is something I wouldn't like to see, really, in, like, the Western version of the game. I think it's just, like, turning the entire MMORPG scene into essentially an esport, and I think that's the worst thing you can do for the game. Because World of Warcraft isn't supposed to be like that. World of Warcraft should just be fun for everyone, and if a top guild wants to, you know, be like top of the charts, great, they can go for it, but offering such a heavy cash reward is just incentivizing people to become more sweaty. And I'm not a huge fan of that, I'm not gonna lie. But I guess they don't care there. Someone, oh hey, there goes Shaman, how do you do?
Where you get nothing beyond a pat on the back and an achievement. A few months ago, 2 Chinese guilds, Wogo Hero and JTH, claimed the top 3 rewards at the same time. Both earned $75,000 each for placing 2nd and 3rd place respectively in the race to World First in midnight. But were there ever attempts by Chinese guilds to push for top 1? In the past, there definitely were. One of the most ambitious and interesting attempts took place in Shadowlands. Unfortunately, this push for global top ranks ended in a massive scandal and the disbandment of the guild. But let's take it step by step. Team Aster is a major esports organization that has teams in other games, like Counter-Strike and Dota. One of the organization's leaders was a big long-time Warcraft fan, at least according to him. He decided to form a World of Warcraft roster with a very ambitious goal, to become the top 1 guild in China and break into the top of the global rankings. The organization poured serious money and resources into making their Warcraft roster succeed. They poached top players from other guilds and even paid their members pretty solid salaries by Chinese standards, averaging around $3,000 a month for the players, managers, and support staff. On paper, the guild had everything, the best resources, financial backing, so they didn't have to worry about getting regular jobs, a whole support team, and an entire esports organization behind them. But something went wrong.
Imagine paying someone to kill the jailer. My god, I would have been embarrassed at the thought of it. I would have shuddered. What is that? Wait, whoa, they take it very seriously over there. Jesus, that's crazy. Do you have a guild in Guild Wars 2? Yeah. In China, is China going to get the actual Classic Plus when it releases? More than likely. Do you really think they're gonna leave them out? They're probably gonna get more than us. They already sort of do.
Wrong. The guild began its climb to the top in the Shadowlands expansion, and overall, things started off fairly well. In Sanctum of Domination, they managed to be the first in the world to clear the raid's final boss, Sylvanus Windrunner, on heroic difficulty. They beat out top guilds like Method, Limit, and Echo. Sure, it was heroic, and the real brawl was supposed to start on mythic difficulty, but it was still a great result. On Mythic, while they didn't break into the top 5 guilds to clear the raid, they still put on a great performance, especially for a newly formed team. After all, even top players need time to find common ground, align their playstyles, and build proper communication, so it would have been strange if they burst into the Sanctum of Domination race and took first place right off the bat. But the start was promising. The scale was impressive too. The players of Team Master weren't streaming their mythic progression from some basement, but from a full-fledged esports arena, with guild members staying in nice hotels.
By the way, I'm sorry it's kind of random, but streamer house will never not be cringe. Like content houses, team esport houses, like that will always be cringe. Always. It always was cringe. People thought it used to be cool back in the day. For a certain time period, so have I gotta be honest, but it's like, now looking back at this, bro, do you really want to spend, like, a good chunk of your life, like let's say around 2 years at minimum, like 5 years probably at most, until you like grow old and bold, and it's like with other 4 sweaty dudes just grinding it out on a video game each day? Like, that's not a life, brother. That's not a life. That's crazy.
Hotel rooms paid for by the org, their MDI roster, which competed in Mythic Plus tournaments, also
sounds
performed
amazing.
Quite well in Season 2 of the Shadowlands MDI. They made it to the finals to face off against another top team, Echo. They didn't manage to win, but they took a respectable second place and earned a cool $60,000 in prize money. So what went wrong if everything looked great on paper and they were showing decent results? Internal drama. It's not enough to throw cash around and gather a bunch of top players from the region into one guild. You also need synergy and mutual respect among the members. The guild started sinking in scandals between its members. Here are just a few funny examples. One of the members rage quit the guild right in the middle of the Sanctum of Domination race because he was upset about being benched, which meant he would earn less money.
Chad, holy! Like, oh, you think I'm going to earn less? F you, dog. Like, instantly quits in the middle of the raid. God damn it, don't let them keep you down, King.
Later, the raid leader went on stream and started blaming the viewers for the raiders not having good enough gear. He literally found scapegoats among the regular audience watching them. My guess is he blew his stack because not enough people were joining their split raids. Later, he broke down in tears on stream, apologizing to the viewers. Soon after, another drama surfaced. One of the new guild members wasn't fitting in well with the group, facing constant accusations and jabs even for the smallest mistakes. One day, after yet another attempt to belittle him, he snapped and threw punches at his guildmate. They had to be pulled apart to stop a full fight, and there were plenty of conflicts like that. Sure, the race to world first is inherently stressful, but this drama went way too far. At the end of Shadowlands...
Yeah, because there's like huge chunk of money involved. Of course, nobody would have taken that this seriously if like it was just, for a title, right? Because there's always a next raid to chase. But since there's like a heavy cash reward on like, the top 3 places, like you really want to make it to the top. So naturally, it just brings the worst out of people. And that's for this exact same reason I said earlier. This is why World of Warcraft should never be an esport, or any MMORPG for that matter. Because you cultivate a very toxic community that prioritizes inhuman behavior and just, try to reach to the top. Basically like late stage, like ultra giga late stage capitalism. Okay, like this is never a good thing. And it's not like, an anti-capitalist thing to say, right? It's just like, it's reality. You do what you can to basically cannibalize on the dude below you just to reach the top. That is a very unhealthy pattern for an MMORPG, because MMORPGs are inherently social games. And you want to cultivate the social aspect rather than the individuality.
After completing the race for the expansion's final raid, the guild disbanded, and the attempt to build a commercial guild by poaching the best raiders in all of China completely failed. How much money was actually spent on this venture? A figure floating around on Warcraft fan sites was about $1.4 million, and that was in just 1 year. That's insanely expensive. I think another reason the guild collapsed was the utter lack of hope to recoup that money. You don't get anything from the race to World First itself. Blizzard doesn't give out any prizes for first place. This isn't Dota or Counter-Strike with massive prize pools. Even if they had claimed the rewards that NetEase began offering after Warcraft's return to the Chinese market, around $150,000, it wouldn't have recouped even a quarter of their expenses. Could sponsors step in during a major event? In theory, yes. But would sponsor money be enough to pay every member an average of $3,000 a month, cover arena live streams, book nice hotels, and maintain support staff? Highly unlikely.
I mean, they could just get a job.
Warcraft is good, but several are even better.
Just a thought.
Taking advantage of the fact that it's harder for Blizzard to reach enterprising Chinese developers than European or American ones, they created their own Warcraft clones. And not just making something similar with a twist, they copied it one-to-one, which in my opinion is utterly outrageous.
What the hell?
For example, how do you like this game? Don't the heroes of this mobile game look familiar? To the naked eye, it's clear that the mobile character...
Bro, is that Varian Tyrande? I'm assuming that's Grom and like Gul'dan in the background? What in God's name is that? That's shameless. They even got Turtle WoW. He's riding a turtle. What is that?
There's almost completely copy characters from Warcraft, just in a stylized, cartoonish chibi look. You've got Sylvanas, Gul'dan, Grom Hellscream.
It's the same name. It's literally Vanessa Van Cleef. This one is literally Jaina. Hellstream Stormwind King. They didn't even bother changing that. It's not, bro, it's not shameless, it's despicable. They just copied the whole thing. Horde Alliance. What? What do you mean doesn't look familiar? It's literally the game.
Got Sylvanas, Gul'dan, Grom Hellscream, and a whole host of other characters. What's more, the developers didn't even hide the fact that they ripped off Warcraft characters. In the hero selection menu, the stolen characters were named exactly as they are in World of Warcraft, with full compliance to their names and even bits of their lore. Varian Wrynn was still the King of Stormwind, Gul'dan was a dark warlock wielding fell magic, and so on. This clone didn't last long. Blizzard, through the Chinese Warcraft publisher NetEase, filed a lawsuit against them, which quickly led to the game being shut down. But the most outrageous nerve belonged to another game that became a triple clone, Dota Legends. This was a mobile game with gameplay that isn't particularly interesting in the context of this video. The characters and locations were also copied from Warcraft, maybe slightly less blatantly compared to the previous game, but enough that you could easily spot Jaina, the Lich King, Illidan, Gul'dan, and other characters. This naturally drew Blizzard's wrath and led to another lawsuit. By the way, Valve joined the action as well, unhappy that some Chinese game was using the word Dota in its title, clearly trying to ride the coattails of their game's popularity. So they filed a lawsuit against—
How dare you use my IP that the fans created for me? How dare you use that? I bet that's what Gaben thought to himself. But to be fair, he was smart enough to actually buy that, so yeah, it is what it is. But, yo, it's fun. Like, everybody joined on the party. Like, that's great.
The developers too. Likely for this reason, the developers later changed the game's title. You know what the funniest part of this company's story is? Their own game got stolen. Another company, seeing that Dota Legends was gaining popularity, decided to copy their project one-to-one. The creators of Dota Legends, finding out about their clone, sued them for plagiarism and copyright infringement. The games were literally identical, almost the exact same interface, same characters, same mechanics.
You notice how everyone, whenever they plagiarize from Blizzard, they take every single thing except the story? Because I've noticed that. And I'm really starting to wonder why.
Effects, abilities, everything was identical, except maybe a timer was placed on the right instead of the left. Can you imagine the sheer audacity of these developers? It was literally, how dare you steal from me? I stole it first, that's unfair. I'm suing you for plagiarism. It's a clone of a clone that stole characters from another game. But while these games, derivative as they were, at least offered players gameplay that differed from Blizzard's titles while using familiar characters, The
Yeah,
next
it's like the
clone
Spider-Man
had no
meme,
shame
everyone
in
pointing on
stealing
each other and everything
everything
is a clone.
outright. In the early 2010s, Hearthstone was under active development, a new game based on Warcraft characters. Blizzard was heavily investing resources into the project and had high hopes for it. But suddenly, a Chinese clone called The Legend of the Crouching Dragon appeared, copying the
Yes.
game almost
The Legend of the Hearthstone. Oh, wow.
down to its foundation. The exact
I don't even know
same
what's the
board,
original.
The exact same card mechanics, the exact same interface, design, and buttons. My god, they even styled their logo after the actual Hearthstone logo. The only difference was that the creators of this Hearthstone clone decided not to steal the characters like previous developers did, modestly limiting themselves to stealing everything else. So the card and hero artwork actually look different. And on the game board, instead of Warcraft decorations, there were random elements from Chinese culture. The story of this clone didn't end well either. NetEase launched legal proceedings against them, which ultimately led to the Hearthstone clone being shut down. Nevertheless, clones like these were everywhere in China. It's simply impossible to list them all. For the most part, they were completely derivative and just tried to cash in on a sliver of popularity off the backs of characters and mechanics created by Blizzard.
Wow. Dude, I did not expect that. I actually did. What a great video. First, I'm going to link you guys, obviously, so you can watch it for yourself. Give it a like, but God bless. I did not expect it to be this big. I had no idea what... I always knew what was really big in China. I always knew that. I didn't know it was to this length. I guess that's why Blizzard is just really, really trying their best to stay on good terms with them. Which obviously makes sense. I'm glad more people are enjoying World of Warcraft, but... brother, I had no idea it's that big over there. That actually opened my eyes a little bit more. This is very, very interesting. They had very heavy cash rewards for, top creators. And they had all of these clones trying to hop off and piggyback off Blizzard IP. So, it makes complete sense that Blizzard, who obviously likes to sue anyone for plagiarism, would want great connections with NetEase because they want NetEase to sue by proxy. So, it makes total sense. I get that now. China's biggest game, Honor of Kings, is a copy too? Really? I never heard... I heard about the game, I never checked it out, obviously. Damn, that's interesting. Yeah, we need to find out more. I feel like we only scratched the surface. Maybe on another day we can do a little bit more of a deep dive into it. That was very good for now. I actually really, really enjoyed that. That was interesting. Guys, we have other great videos. Let's see. Let me just write this. We have another update video on the Red Empire. Are we ready? So I'll just remind you. This is the most toxic guild in World of Warcraft. They did PvP. They griefed people. They doxed. I don't know if you guys remember that. It's going to be funny. Let's, damn, I'm voice cracking like a fucking madman today. Holy shit. It's so humid in here. I'm sorry, guys. I don't know. It's just so humid today. I'm literally dying. What in God's name is that? I'm trying my best to survive. And just, I voice crack. Finally hit puberty? Fuck you. Fuck you. But yes. Good people, solid guild? Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. Dude, I love the Skeletor Keckle so much. How do you have that? I need that. Give me that. How does one get it? It's so good. Punches need to be thrown over this drama too. Punches? Bro, people need to be incarcerated. Again, I'll remind you, this guild has doxed a man over World of Warcraft, which might not have been the worst thing they ever done.
Toxic guild in World of Warcraft is desperately lashing out, maybe for the final time. They're griefing raids non-stop by putting
for the
plants
final
in
time, sure.
And they're going into Discords and spamming the N-word more than they ever have.
Bro, what a bunch of toddlers. Holy crap. I mean, listen. If you're 14 and you're doing this, it's hella cringe, but I can somewhat understand. These people are 30 to 40-year-old balding dudes. That's the embarrassing part. If they were in their teens, I would have been okay. Whatever. But by however they sound, that they are 40. You know that. You know that they haven't been touched by a female since forever. Since their conception. You just absolutely know that.
I don't know where he is. They are really trying to get people banned on Twitch and YouTube, and demoralize them as much as humanly possible. But while they're projecting strength, including holding an in-game show of force yesterday where they all stood in a circle and chanted slogans, the reality is that their leader, Papi Putin, was absolutely nowhere to be found. Is it because he's banned, or because he's waiting on a private server for everything to blow over?
Because he roached out. He thought he would never be found. Like, these people can only operate within a niche, right? They can only operate in World of Warcraft PvP fringes, and they kind of use their, you know, ginormous guilds to obfuscate what they're doing. But since Nightmane absolutely just clapped their cheeks and exposed them to everyone, they got clowned upon because now they don't have the power. You took that power from them, and their entire apparatus slowly started to fall. Well, not slowly, actually really, really fast, started to fall apart. And the reason is, these people, they don't care about each other. It's to each their own. They're not a true guild. They're a guild that their values are based on toxicity and cannibalizing on other players. And the moment they don't have other players to cannibalize because everyone were united against them, they started cannibalizing on one another. And that's when the entire guild started falling apart. Yeah, he roached, yeah. Average is 40. I bet if you collectively take every single member in this guild, they can probably make one wig.
He's hiding away. Because here's the thing. The dude who leads the most toxic guild in World of Warcraft,
the amount of hair follicles is like 3 per person.
He's supposedly a master tactician and a world-class world PvPer.
You just called him a master tactician. Well, he did say supposedly, but dog, like, let's not continue the self-aggrandizement of this absolute roach. This man is nobody. Nobody cares about him. He flew way too close to the sun, and the moment he got found out, he roached out. Classic move. Classic maneuver. I remember him saying, like, this Papi Putin guy, I'm controlling the narrative. I'm deciding what's going to happen next. And you know that person had absolutely no friends growing up, and he had zero control over his life whatsoever. That's why he was acting this way. Because the little bit of control he had was in a video game, and it gave it so much importance he forgot real life existed.
But unfortunately, in the last couple weeks, that has really crumbled as an image. It probably all started with Zico, who actually looked into the skill of the players in Red Empire, and he realized they're actually not super high rated in PvP. Which, okay, that's fair. I'm not throwing
What a
stones
surprise.
there. But it turns out their leader, Papi Putin, has a way below 50% win rate in PvP, which is kind of hilarious. But even though Papi Putin himself would probably be low...
So are you telling me that the most toxic person in World of Warcraft was throwing stones from glass houses? That's crazy. Unbelievable, one might say.
To claim that he's actually bad at arenas, the fact is that he definitely...
He can boss around people at McDonald's? Man, I bet he's flipping some mean burgers now.
would consider himself more of a world PvPer. Or is that just a carefully constructed image? Because one of his very best clips, where he 1v3s his biggest rival Big P PvP, it turns out it was completely fake. Papi Putin on a death knight, absolutely destroying his competition. He's 1v3, he makes them look like complete idiots, and he used it for propaganda in his guild. He would send it to all his guildies, and he would say, yo, we are way better than Big P PvP.
A guy named Papi Putin used propaganda. Yeah. Man, this story just keeps on writing itself.
Look at what I did. But it turned out he was using the public test realm to stage this with his officer. When you watch the clip, you can see these people are barely playing the game. And one of them is actually a gladiator. There is zero chance he would be playing this way.
What do I do now? Do I glaive him? Let me just RP walk in the middle of it. It's fine. Yeah.
It's actually
not faked whatsoever.
Fighting somebody. But the fact that this was fake, and that would be probably embarrassing to a lot of people, does not stop Papi Putin or Red Empire. They just send it around anyways and try to make their rivals look as bad as humanly possible. That leads us to the biggest contradiction with World of Warcraft's most toxic guild. PvP guilds over the years have found their success in maybe being incredibly creative, like SEAL Team 6. Some PvPers have camped boats for 18 hours a day. I mean, that's a pretty good way to get some reputation. But Red Empire, they're just different, because their biggest strength isn't actually their PvP. Sure, they have clips of them with Arcane Explosion running down a hallway and killing some people, but that really is the limit of what they do. Their actual biggest strength, and their biggest claim to fame, is not their PvP, but their ability to weaponize videos and media and discords. Keep in mind, they control the
Discord PvP.
largest server Discord for the PvP server Nightslayer, to convince new players to spam and harass guilds they don't like, or spam that a player like Nightman is racist and hurt his reputation. Red Empire, they will immediately claim they are being unfairly targeted.
Yeah, and it's so funny that not only they failed miserably at hurting Nightmane's reputation, they actively supported him. Because this man, since the entire ordeal like blew up, he went like 5k subs. So they gave him money, they gave him views, and they gave him a long-lasting community. Probably. So not only they did not manage to put a dent in him, they actively built him a castle. Good job. Great job.
That there are a lot of other
Clark.
guilds out
How
there
do you do?
doing similar things as they are, like Big P PvP. They accuse that guild of also doxing as well, and taking things outside the game whenever they can. But with possibly a few exceptions here and there, it really does seem like Red Empire is the massive outlier for PvP guilds. Nobody else is trying to do what Red Empire does, and ultimately that is what makes them a real villain. Maybe I'm just pissed off because they have been griefing me non-stop lately and ruining my raids, but I think they would be too happy with the villain tag. What would really piss them off would be to provide irrefutable proof that they aren't very successful in world PvP, which is actually true. That's the reason they are forced to do things outside the game. That's the reason they do what they do. The reality is that Red Empire, they're kind of posers. They claim that they're all about world PvP, but they're really kind of half-assing it. Take Red Ridge guy. This dude, for 2 years, he has grief lobies and high levels alike in Red Ridge. He sits in the mountains, completely untargetable by everybody, and he kills player after player. He can kill them in the inns while they're questing, literally anywhere, with no recourse at all. But
Yeah,
roll that
but he's keeping it in the PvP server. He never go outside of it, and that's why people have respect for him.
would absolutely suck to deal with while you're questing, and I'm sure a lot of you would say this is why I don't play on a PvP server.
Yeah.
The reality is that once you have that bad experience with this dude one time in Red Ridge, or maybe a couple times, it's just kind of over. Like, he's not going to be calling your workplace and getting you fired. That's the difference. He's having a bigger impact in-game, and he doesn't take things out of the game. Red Empire, they just lack the creativity, they lack the skill perhaps, and they just take things out of the game every time. Take Flickster, who for years in Classic WoW has done everything he can to grief and kill players. He'll kite dragons or demons or anything he can find into Stormwind or Orgrimmar, and he really indiscriminately kills as many people as he possibly can. He even figured out that the demon from the Scepter of the Shifting Sands quest is like way stronger than all the other demons, and sometimes he'll kite that in and just kill like hundreds of people. But then he doesn't go on Discord and take screenshots of all the dead players. He doesn't spam the Discords with N-words and try to get people banned. Is he making some people's game experience worse? Maybe, sure. But he's keeping it in the game. He's being creative with
Base Giga Chad. Absolutely base Giga Chad. That's what PvP servers are for. If you don't want that, don't play PvP. If you don't want the smoke, don't get into the kitchen. It's that simple. Yeah, why is the background of his dude is the same as Zaryu, or am I tripping? They're brothers and they're actually like taking turns streaming. Still kind of crazy. What is that guy's deal? Too much time on his hands and just delusions of grandeur.
it. And it doesn't devolve into doxing and all this toxic stuff. Again, maybe I'm just getting salty because they griefed me nonstop for the last day and actually caused my Gruul to disband, which, you know, basically wasted my friend Simon Ice's time and 24 other people, really.
Oh, they like ganked
Maybe
them?
my favorite story about why Red Empire just kind of sucks at this is that they recently tried to grief the hardcore race locked project. Basically, all these different communities came together to try to do a Tauren-only Molten Core, or Dwarf-only Molten Core, which actually just got completed, which was pretty cool to watch. But basically, Red Empire joined this event, and their intention was to grief and harass anybody in the event. They would join
Dwarf-only Molten Core. I can imagine you go into the raid, it's like, everyone, get in here! Ah, fuck. You guys are too young for that reference. Damn. I need to get, like, I don't know if I need, like, a younger crowd of people, or I need, like, old and bold. Like, I'm very confused. Because my content is clearly for, like, above the age of 25. I can see that on my YouTube metrics as well. But at the same time, are you guys gonna stay alive until Classic Plus happens? I got it. Thank you.
5-man dungeon
We got to heal the wounds. Class.
groups in the Discords. If you've ever been in a hardcore project, there's usually a bunch of open Discords where people can join. Imagine that every single one of those channels, randomly people are coming in and saying the N-word, and
Never put open voice channel on Discord. Are you nuts? That's actually on you. Like, quite literally never do that. Literally never do that. It's the worst thing you can have happen to you on stream. Why would you ever do that?
getting people banned, it immediately kills the community vibe. It just kind of sucks. But also Red Empire would match the names of the main tank in the group, and then they would DM like the mages and the priests and stuff and have them try to pull more mobs. They did successfully cause a few low-level dungeon wipes doing that, but it is kind of funny that they had to rely on out-of-the-game things despite being in the
It's so petty. Why are you going to snipe people in dungeons? Raids is one thing. Like, dungeons? Who cares, dog? It's so crazy. Their entire structure of, like, functioning and maintaining their guild solidarity is built upon just making other people's lives as miserable as possible at every single second. It was never about PvP. It was about domination and humiliation of the other side. That's just crazy to me. Absolutely barbaric.
Project. None of the
And
Red
not in a
Empire
good
players
way.
were able to get high enough level to actually grief anything serious. I'm sure they had a vision of one of their raid members being the next Tiny Violin, which you might remember is when this dude took one of the 4 horseman mobs and kited it into the other mobs and killed like 30 plus hardcore players. That basically changed hardcore forever, because all of a sudden you had to look out for griefers in every single raid. Even recently, there was somebody who replicated the Tiny Violin grief. They tried to run in on Cthulhu and kill everybody with the I-beam. But what people don't realize about a grief like that is it actually requires you being semi-competent at the game. Sure, hitting 60 in hardcore is not an easy feat. I have
That's a
died
problem.
way too many times trying to do it. But it's kind of funny that they have to resort to out-of-the-game tactics in every single version of the game. The reason that Red Empire resorts to Discord PvP, which is the term they coined, it's the one thing they're actually good at. While they're gathering an Orgrimmar to flaunt the fact that they're still intact and completely ignored by Blizzard, the reality is that it's just kind of sad, because it's not the show of force they were hoping it would be. People finally are seeing that they really didn't accomplish much in the game in the first place. The Discord PvP is scary and annoying and pisses people off, but other than that, what really are they as a guild? To get into a pub...
Bunch of nobodies trying to play gods. Very shameful. Very sad and pathetic. But you know what's the good part? We get a good chuckle out of it.
Group in 2026 as Red Empire, you have to literally drop your guild tag. People don't want you in their groups. Meanwhile, their control over the Nightslayer Discord has really taken a hit. It is really nice to see that player reputation, it still matters in the game. In a world where maybe you think ninja looters aren't getting punished or griefers aren't getting punished, the reality is that as players, we still really can make an impact. It really does seem like the entire population understands one thing. Red Empire is only good at Discord PvP. Thank you for watching.
Yeah.
Make sure to subscribe for the...
Absolutely. Damn, that was a very good video, but he's absolutely right. They're only good in Discord PvP. They're only good at pretending they're doing something, and apparently whenever they do that, like, it's all fake. It's all fake. He had to fake PvP status to look supreme. Bro couldn't even kill 1v1 a person. He couldn't even do that. Like, I remember watching all the snipe montage of people, like, actively going after Pappy Putin. He couldn't even defend himself. Like, it was pathetic. Bro, he got hard. Inside of Orgrimmar, too. Like, he was absolutely bamboozled. But, yeah, that's what you get. That's what you get when you fly too close to the sun. You think you're good at a game, but you know that you're an absolute nobody. It was good. What's good? Venom! How do you do? How do you do? It's a good. We have a good one. We have a good one. Wait. Let me put this. Do I need to change my thing? Guys, we have like very interesting video about Ashes of Creation. I wanted to watch. Happy Sunday, yeah, for you too. I'm glad you guys joined the stream. We're gonna hit the interesting part of the stream now. I really wanted to talk about this Ashes of Creation stuff. What the fuck? The hell? Okay, YouTube kind of went finicky on me on my other screen. It's fine. Let me just click this and do that. Just put it here. Okay, there we go. All better. I didn't want YouTube to come in and clap my cheeks. There we go. So, wait, maybe we'll watch the shorter video first. So any of you know TERA, by the way? Any of you play that? Scam my money? Classic. Before we start bashing Ashes of Creation, I want to go on the record and say at one point I was ultra hyped for this game. Everyone. So, but let's go over the TERA video first, because it's only like 8 minutes. And I'm not gonna lie, I have played TERA. I played TERA a lot back in the day, when it used to be like free to play. What was it always free to play? For some reason I remember it was like pay to play at some point. Maybe I'm like confused, but I like remember playing TERA anyway. I played like the gun lady when she was new. TERA was fun on early. It was. But then you hit the infinite grind slop. And suddenly, it's not really that fun anymore. So yeah. I mean, Kara or TERA? TERA. Like TERA, it was, I think, a Korean MMO. Like, everyone played it back in the day. I remember there used to be a huge hype over TERA back in the day. I played it whenever they released that new character with, like, the big cannon. That was cool. Now, apparently, TERA is getting Classic Plus before World of Warcraft. That, I have to see.
TERA on PC has been gone for more than 4 years. Bluehole ended development in 2022, and the official PC servers closed that June. The players kept going through private servers, and one of those communities is now about to relaunch TERA in a way I really didn't expect. They're calling it TERA Classic Plus. It launches on August 21st. Everyone starts at level 1, and they've changed a lot more than a few numbers and dungeon drops. I've actually never played TERA myself. It was one of those MMOs I knew about.
I bet they literally just made the game infinitesimally better by actually giving loot drops, and the unnecessary grind for experience is lowered significantly.
But somehow never tried. Then I watched the announcement trailer for this, and yeah, it made me a little curious. There is something about seeing an old MMO being rebuilt by the people who still care about it that makes me want to understand what they're doing. If you played TERA, tell me what you think of this one. Would you come back for it? Get in the comments. That's half the reason I make these. And if you enjoy following strange MMO projects like this, subscribing is the easiest way to catch the next one.
In my opinion. I still think it holds.
Gameforge announced the PC shutdown in April of 2022. Bluehole had decided to stop working on TERA and focus its developers elsewhere. Gameforge was the last publisher still running the PC game. They said keeping it alive without Bluehole's support wasn't possible. The servers closed on June 30th. Gameforge also confirmed that the shutdown covered PC globally, so there was nowhere else to move your characters. Console TERA carried on. Since then, anyone wanting to play TERA on PC has had to use unofficial servers.
Interesting.
TERA Europe Classic launched on July 23rd last year. That server was based on patch 31.04, the Gunner patch. Level 65 was the cap. The original Island of Dawn was there, and the game was from the pre-awakening period. It also used the old 32-bit client. The team changed things from day one. Gunner had balance changes, and further class changes were already on the roadmap. They also planned more old level 65 content. Classic Plus comes after about a year of running that older version and changing it along the way.
It looks really good. I don't even remember it looking that so good. Oh, if it's a private server, I don't care.
On version
yeah, I feel that.
100.02,
I can play those as well.
64-bit client. The team is bringing older parts of TERA into that client. Skills come from different points in the game's history. Old content is being restored, and other systems are being changed for this server. Apex is gone. Tester feedback was used before launch, and the team says that will continue after release. They've picked parts from different versions and built their own mix. Old TERA players will probably disagree with some of those choices.
Yeah, isn't there a TERA 2 in development?
The original Island of Dawn is back.
I'm not really following on TERA.
According to the team, they moved its terrain, plants, lighting, and atmosphere piece by piece from the old 32-bit client into the new one. New characters start there and follow a new campaign up to level 20. BAM hunting is a big part of it. Classic cutscenes have been restored, and some NPC dialogue has been rewritten. Players who want the older leveling route can leave and head towards Lumbertown instead.
Yeah, oh shit, dude, that ability is so dope. It was always buggy as hell if they fixed that in the dub.
5-player balancing.
It was.
The team sees running dungeons from level 20 to 65 should take around 5 to 6 hours.
Yeah, but to be fair, I've never played in my entire life an Eastern MMO that wasn't buggy as hell. And I played almost all of them.
Yeah, that's quick. World questing remains available and takes longer.
Dude, look at the combat.
See why a smaller server might want players reaching the same content sooner. 5 or 6 hours will still feel very different to people who remember spending much longer leveling through TERA.
Okay, yeah. So of course they took care of that.
Are included.
I remember literally hitting that like infinite grind point where it's like, okay, I'm killing a ton of monsters, I'm barely gaining experience, and suddenly, miraculously one might say, you get a pop-up of, oh, you want to pay for an XP boost, son? It'll save you some time. And at that point, I think I quit the game. I think it was this point. I played with a friend of mine. I remember that.
Apex has been
Ba-boom.
removed, with some of that power moved into the normal class kits. The team has brought back older abilities too,
I paid
including
it first,
Sniper's
bruh.
Eye, Mocking Shout, Titanic Wrath, and Burst of Celerity. Popori can also play Reaper, Gunner, Ninja, and Valkyrie on Classic Plus. The team says those combinations have never existed on any TERA server before. I'm leaving that as their claim because I can't verify the full history of every private TERA server. Their longer-term plan is to open every class to every race and gender. Race animation speed differences have also been removed, so every race should attack at the same speed.
Wow, that's good. Wait, that's actually great.
And some of this is completely new. This goes further than running old TERA on a newer client. Dragon's Landing is a custom dungeon made for Classic Plus. The new Popori class combinations weren't part of the old game. PvE and PvP now have their own gear systems, built around how this server wants people to progress. Then there's the launcher, which has its own built-in system for hundreds of community visual mods. That's where the plus part starts to make more sense to me. They're keeping things people remember, while also making things that weren't there before.
Oh, that's it's actually really
Launch
impressive.
endgame mixes returning dungeons with custom work. Alongside Dragon's Landing, 2 older dungeons get nightmare versions with reworked bosses, and Heaven's Arena has been rebuilt as a boss rush. PvE players work on a gear line called Mornshard. PvP has its own line called Skyshard. The basic PvP set comes from a quest, so Battleground players can start there without grinding PvE gear first. Materials can be traded between PvE and PvP players too. The announcement even mentions quiet Battleground queues as one reason for that system. Players can buy missing materials from people doing the other side of the game. A lot will depend on how many people are actually playing.
Whoa, the launcher.
The team says Classic Plus ships with more than 500 visual GPK mods. You can browse, install, and update them through the launcher. Shinra Meter and TERA custom
Just
cooldowns
like Turtle
are
WoW.
bundled too. The credits page names the people behind those tools, along with modders and the Osto server where their work was used.
Man, it's so crazy how much time and effort fans of a video game are willing to put just to relive their MMORPG best experience. It just, at some point I look at this and I'm like, why the original game didn't do that? It's exactly what I feel with like Turtle WoW and World of Warcraft. It's like, why don't you just copy Turtle WoW and make millions? I don't get Blizzard. It's insane. Man, I have to go to work tomorrow? Damn. I feel you. I have to go to work too. Yeah, you would get those perk bucks with your sub, yeah.
Classic Plus still has plenty to
Easy
prove
pay to
once
win.
it goes live. And yes,
And you know what's funny? The pay to win only got more shameless. If you saw Ion 2, like monetization, your heart would literally drop. That's crazy. They have 2 tiers, or maybe 3 at this point, of subscriptions. You have like the poor people, which like pay less. And then you have like giga rich people, which pay the highest. And then you have like, I don't know, homeless at the bottoms that are trying to make it free to play and can't do anything. So it only has been more, it only exasperated as time went on.
because I know a lot
You should try Chinese Guild Wars 2. There's Chinese Guild Wars 2. Nothing worse than Black Desert Online. What, you mean the video game that literally punishes you for crafting? Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, main game devs are focused to release skins, mount, etc. Absolutely. It's 1 sub now? Oh, they unified it? How much it cost? $30? That's kind of crazy though. They actually unified it to 1. By the way, the subscription inside of... Oh my god, it's so stupid. Like, subscription for an MMORPG was always stupid, even in World of Warcraft terms. But if it's like super expensive, oh, it's $15 now? Okay, you know what? That's actually good. That's actually good. I wonder why they backpedaled. But that's actually great to hear. Lots of stuff in the cash shop? Yeah, I assume so.
of you will wonder about this.
Wait, what? Chinese Guild Wars 2 cash shop let you buy tier 2 legendaries and legendary accessories? Yo, that's shameless. Oh my god.
The server does have monetization. Classic Plus uses TERA coins and
They know
Crazy
what's up.
coins. There is a shop, and Elite still exists in a reduced form. The team says nothing sold there will increase combat power, and describes the paid side as cosmetics and practical conveniences. Points spent on the old Classic server can also be credited back as Classics balance. So this is a monetized private server. The no pay to win part is the team's promise, and we'll be able to judge that properly once the live shop is available. I also couldn't find any public approval from Crafton. The existing TERA Europe Classic website calls itself a non-commercial fan project and says it has no connection to Crafton or Bluehole.
Huh. So, I don't think it's likely to be taken down like Blizzard.
Official PC development ended 4 years
because they
ago,
don't care.
but people kept building around what was left. Classic Plus shows how far that can go. This community has picked an old starting zone, a newer client, class designs from different periods, and some new content of its own. WoW private servers have been moving in this direction for years. TERA makes it easy to see because there is no official PC version getting new patches anymore. The people running Classic Plus can decide which parts of TERA they want to keep and what they want to change. I don't know if enough players will stay after launch for all of this to work. August 21st will give us the first real answer. If you played TERA, what version would you want today? The old game kept as close as possible to how you remember it, or a server where the community can change things. And if you made it this far into a video about a TERA private server in 2026, you might as well subscribe. I suspect we're going to find more weird MMO projects before long.
Yep. Man, everyone is like on the private server arc. Like every single company is like making these now. That's crazy. Like, well, not company, just like people, but it just goes to show more in the point I like mentioned previously. If you give the fans some sort of agency over your game, they can create some great stuff. It really just goes to show that Valve was doing something right whenever they let their own fans build their game for them. It works. Like, yeah, 99% of the times you get some garbage, but that 1% can definitely shine and be something insanely good you've never seen before. Absolutely. Ascension has been much more fun than official World of Warcraft? Absolutely. You're right about that. Guild Wars 2 content creator did a vid on checking the Chinese Guild Wars 2 cash shop. Check it out. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's insane. It's absolutely crazy. But anyway, we won't be checking out TERA, unfortunately, because, you know, it's breaking TOS, so I guess it is what it is. But that was definitely a fun watch. Let's see. You send it on Discord. I'll look into it. So I'll save the... Wait, let me just... TERA... So I'll save... Okay, well, we'll save the Ashes of Creation video, maybe for next stream. Even though I really want to watch it today. I guess it is what it is. If you guys want to see the Guild Wars 2 video, we're gonna watch that. Let me see that. Okay, there we go. This is it. The fuck? Wait, am I on the... Oh, I'm on the wrong browser. I didn't understand why you guys weren't seeing that. There we go. Oh, it's from 2 months ago. It's relatively new.
Okay, let's see. Oh, wait. Oh, wait. Okay. Oh.
The hell?
Oh.
Why is he moaning like that? Okay, let me just move myself so you guys can see him. There it is. I hope this is interesting. I hope for your sake. Let's see. So,
Unless
this is like the intro?
There it is.
Okay. So, okay, should be good. Brother, they even have the same logo, the same number too. Wait, when you said Chinese... Wait, what? Guys, when you said Chinese Guild Wars 2, you mean like Chinese Guild Wars 2, or you mean unofficial Chinese Guild Wars 2? Because I might just not got the point. Is this like official thing, or it's like a fake thing? Is this like real? Oh, it is official? Okay. Okay, that's good to know. Okay, I was a little bit confused here. I thought it was like fake and shit. So this is actual Chinese Guild Wars 2, and they're selling legendaries on the market? I gotta see this.
The Shining Blade, you know? Gen 2 Legendary. You can buy Verderag for 330 yuan, which changer is 40 euro.
Wait, that's
so
it?
It is confirmed. You can just buy your legendaries.
Oh wait, 30 euros? That's crazy.
On the gem store there. Now,
wait, you can
let's
just
do something funny.
Bro.
What is the cheapest cost for a legendary in Europe?
It's like 1k point something, right? 1k
The
for...
Bifrost, 1.4k
Yeah,
gems.
I remember, I checked that.
1.4k gems. Which would set me back 20 euros.
Uh-huh.
It's not bad. Wait, dude. No.
Base. Oh my god. China has their own client and very different version of the game that's cut off from the rest of the world? What? Do they have like different rates and stuff like World of Warcraft has?
Wait. I'm stupid. Sorry, we like giga goofed. Sorry. No. Sorry. 250 gems is roughly 1,000. 250 gold is 1,000 gems. I'm stupid. So we need 6 of these. So I need 6k gems minus, well, 6 times 50. So I need 5,700 gems. Sorry? So I am paying 70 euros. Sorry, I'm paying 70 euros for a legendary, the cheapest one.
70
But let's all be real,
euros.
the Shining Blade is well way more expensive because you need a Mystic Tribute and some other stuff.
Oh, wait. So I'm actually getting value on the Chinese Guild Wars 2 server. Wait, that's good. I get to pay less for power. Oh my god, that's awesome, dude. They're so advanced. My days. Then, okay, guys, you're right. This is good stuff.
Does it work like an auction? I think this is because it's currently on sale. Wait, dude, what is this? This shoulder piece right here, I have this.
Ah, why is he playing in Azura? Why everyone's playing in Azura? Why every single content creator and a dude I see is just playing this goddamn rat race? I had enough. Guys, you know that they're the worst race out there. Can we just... It's the meta? Screw the meta. Fuck that. I don't care anymore. Enough. We need more Norn mommies. We don't need that. Is there an Azura baddie, by the way? Nah, sorry. You know what? Forget I asked that.
Have this. If you go to your
Never mind that.
wardrobe,
It was just an intrusive thought.
is the Hellfire Mantle. New people, you might not know this yet. Of course, veterans, you do. Whenever you do achievements, you can choose skins. So at first it's the Zenith skin. No, the Zenith not, sorry. It's these. It's the Zenith skins. After a while it becomes a Pinnacle skins. And then you can get Radiant and Hellfire skins as well. Which also... It's not $50, by the way, it's 50 yuan. You can buy the Kaiser Snake weapons, not the Caesar Viper weapons. The Kaiser Snake weapons as well for 15 yuan. So, you don't even need to do SAB. You could just grind IRL. You pick up an extra shift, put some fries in the bag. And at the end of the night, you just got yourself a couple of legendaries and some SAB skins.
What's the point? What's the point of playing the game even? Isn't the entire shtick of Guild Wars 2 is craft your own legendary and feel good about it? This completely defeats the purpose. Listen, if this was World of Warcraft, it would have been okay. Because in World of Warcraft, legendary equal power. In Guild Wars 2, that's not the case. So why not create your own legendary? The fun is part of the process. In World of Warcraft, you just pray for the drop because it's really good. And also it's cool and stuff, right? And it's exciting. But in Guild Wars 2 is craft the legendary and have fun while you're crafting it. So this defeats the entire purpose. I really don't get that part.
Can you buy Legi armor? I wanna check this out now. Mythical oh my god. No, is this the mythic weapons from the Black Lion chest? Wait, this could actually be insane.
Yeah, it would be fun to see Chinese WoW cash up. I hope it's just bonkers. It's probably the same. I bet China looks at Blizzard and they're like, damn, bro, you're growing over too much with this. Longboy mount $90? No, even we're not that greedy. Imagine if NetEase would actually tell them that. You're taking it over the edge, Chief. If it's for the fun, why are there materials in the shop? True. Imagine.
Yo, it is this. So, like, this is probably one of the worst kept secrets. But these are some of the sickest skins in the entire game. They're called mythic weapons.
Oh,
As
wow,
far
they
as
look
I know,
cool.
the only way we have... Actually, I don't know if they're in, like, some wardrobe unlock. But, like, the straight way to get all of these... And they come with some pretty sick animations. Like, no footfalls, no projectiles. But, you know, if we, like, stow our shields, it goes tiny. If I wield my shields, you know, you get a pretty cool thing. You need 150 Black Lion statuettes. Now, we all know that getting these is a bit of a pain in the ass, because you can get like one guaranteed at one point for opening a chest, but then the 5 or 25 drops are actually or have been nerfed recently, so getting these is like, you know, this is very costly. Again, you're buying these for 50 yuan,
Wow,
which,
that's
like,
nothing.
I want to reiterate, is 6 euros. So, you know,
Yeah.
let's call it $6-7. Oh, fuck.
That's
we just
literally like less than an hour work. So you can like purchase a really cool skin in like 1 day of labor. You can like purchase a bunch of them. That's insane. Yeah, mandatory paladin, derogatory slender. Glad to catch the stream. Yeah, happy to have you here. Thank you. Thank you for actually clowning on me for playing paladin, even though I like play warriors. But I appreciate that. Yeah, when Chinese Guild Wars 2 has less RNG than Western, no, their RNG is just where you spawn in life.
Redeemed ourselves. Wait.
It's just different type of
It's
RNG.
getting better. A confetti infusion. A confetti infusion. A confetti infusion. It would cost you.
Infusions are like
less
really
than
expensive,
35
right?
bucks. Let's flip this to Guild Wars 2, right? Let's flip this to Guild Wars 2. A confetti infusion. The cheapest one is
Ooh,
4K gold.
4K.
If I want one right now. And yes, I'm gonna do buyout price because in this store I can get it right now.
Yeah, it's ultra expensive.
So a confetti
Holy
infusion,
crap.
4K gold. Again,
It's like less than a day of work. It's insane. So in Guild Wars 2 terms, if we're like comparing times, right, to time to farm 4K gold essentially, bro, it's going to set you what, like a couple of like I know you're gonna tell me no, someone made 4K gold in 1 day. Like on average, how much it'll take a Guild Wars 2 player that is very well seasoned and know what he's doing to get 4K gold? On average, how much it'll take him? And just compare it to the other side where what it was, 33 euros. It's like, okay, it's like what, 2 days of labor? And I'm like really stretching it, right? It's a while, yeah. So you can essentially work for 2 days and have a job and just, I don't know, farm for days on Guild Wars. So of course they would opt for real life money. It saves so much time. It's insane. Yeah. It's more expensive in the West. It is. It is marginally more expensive.
and 4K gold. How much is this? That is 16,000 gems. 16,000 gems? That would cost me 200 bucks. Meanwhile, our Chinese friends, they just get one for 35. What is this?
Easy clap.
And by the way, it's a stat infusion, as you can see.
Oh, God.
Wait,
That's
highlight
kinda wild.
weapons. So this has to be the hard light weapons, which is actually very interesting because so hard light weapons self-select. Oh well, maybe it's the Lightborn. Sorry, it's probably gonna be the Lightborn. Looking at this, self-selected, so they probably mean stat selectable, right? Right now it is on sale, but you can get stat selectable exotics for 4 euros on a Chinese server. Oh my word! Wait,
No, that's
sorry,
crazy.
like, I am now fully invested in this page. I need to know what else you can buy in China that I cannot get in Europe on the gem store. Oh my god. Okay, let's start with the music boxes. Again, this is not dollars,
What is a
this is
music
yuan,
box?
but I'm translating from Chinese because,
What?
believe it or not,
I never heard of this item existing even. What the hell is a music box?
my simplified Chinese is not as good as my real Mandarin. Now, I hope I get away with that statement. You can, I don't, could somebody guess what this is? Drake treasure? Does anybody recognize
It'll take
this
the average player a couple of months? Jeez, man, that's crazy.
skin? Wait, royal title. Oh, this is probably a launch pass? Game nickname, so this is a name change? You can buy
Music boxes and infusion. Wow, thank you. That's the answer I was looking for. But like, what does it do? Like the infusion part, I got. But like, what does it do?
24 bags, well, 24 slot bags on their gem store as well. Oh my god. If you've seen it, you already know. A perma contract on the Chinese server? No.
Wait, it costs nothing. What?
Wait, can I view the details to this?
Oh my god. And if you're getting like all of them, that's
Permanent
insane.
contract value pack. Wait. Okay, I cannot open this. Does this mean... Yeah, does this mean it is 5 contracts for 25 bucks?
Isn't that like 20k gold? Or something like that?
It is all 5. Like...
All combined? Bro, if you... Whoa.
I,
You can
like
buy
at
50
this point, I don't
infusion
need
for
to do
almost
this anymore,
nothing.
right? Endless? Well,
It's
other
visual effect of
packaged
notes
goods, I
flying
guess.
around you? Oh, that's cool.
Let's do this. Endless upgrade extractor, 1.4k. Endless reinforcement contract.
Oh, I thought it was more
400
expensive
gold.
for some reason.
Of course, if I type permanent, that would have been a smarter choice. 6k for a bank access, 4k for a hairstylist, 6.3k for a crafting station, 775 for the merchant, and then another...
No pay to win in Guild Wars 2, by the way. Dude, permanent crafting station is fucking... It's busted. That and the bank account? Holy crap. Dude, that's nuts. Okay, so I was almost right. It's almost like 20k. It's like over 10k. But, okay. Sure.
2.6k for a trading post. But right here, it seems like you get your armor repair canister, your hairstyle contract, your merchant, your bank contract, and your trading post for 25 bucks.
For nothing, almost.
I was gonna say maybe this is the non-permanent one.
No, it is permanent.
But it says permanent contract value pack. So 25 bucks gets you... Oh my god. Could you imagine if ANET would do this, like, just one day? No, 1 week. Like, okay, ANET wants money, right? I don't know why my goal bar is in front of my face.
Yeah.
Let's fix this first.
That's
Sorry
pretty
about that.
good way to say it. They do want money.
No, that's
They
good,
like
better,
it.
right? Imagine ANET did this. 1 week. You know, my birthday week. August 20. Let's fucking go. Everything that you see here is available in Europe. Dude, they would be making, like, hands over fist of cash.
I actually am not really sure about that because Western audience is vastly different from, like, Eastern audience. In Eastern, like, areas, right, like the Far East, it's way more acceptable to pay to win and pay for convenience. I think in, like, Western areas, it's not. And we can take World of Warcraft as a good example, but World of Warcraft, like, lost a lot of players because of the cash shop. But that being said, it also farmed a lot of whales. So maybe, potentially, it can generate a lot of revenue. But I think that Guild Wars 2 don't have the same luxury that WoW has. Because WoW is massively popular. It's riding off the inertia of its, you know, successful IP that was long lost to the ages. Guild Wars 2 doesn't have that. Guild Wars 2 player base in the West is, like, extremely niche. And it's going to take a lot for players to actually capitulate to this. I don't think they would accept this. I think you would lose everybody playing the game, and Guild Wars 2 would quite literally crumble if they ever try to push something like this. I don't think it will be a good idea. Yeah, once I start thinking about real money in a game, when I see items, it's GG and I quit. It's supposed to be a game for fun, and real money ruins that for me personally. Based. That's how you should always do. Whenever I see an MMORPG with a cash up inside, I instantaneously look if there's, like, pay for power or pay for convenience items. And if they are, I quit. If it's only cosmetics, sure. But if you have any form of pay for, like, power and stuff, like, I quit. In Guild Wars 2, it's, like, it's, you know, obviously there's, like, pay to win elements that saves you, like, a ton of time. But it's okay. Like, I kind of deal with it, but I don't like it. Like, I don't like it one bit. Like, the gem to gold conversion stuff is, like, bogus. It's stupid as hell. They should absolutely disable that. But it is what it is, right? I have to, like, kind of bite the bullet. Yeah, ArenaNet would only make your inventory smaller with new expansion. Imagine if your inventory will be, like, 5 slots and you need to pay for the rest. Yeah, I would say Eastern likes to punish. Sorry, I'm just very hurt from BDO. Yeah. Absolutely, I feel that. Yeah, I don't get the comparison. These are both Chinese and the West shop too. These are in. No, this is like strictly Chinese. This is not in like the Western version. This is like strictly China.
They would be making thousands in that week. Like, honestly, John ArenaNet, if you ever watch this, it's simple. If you see that ANET has a bad quarter, just copy what the Chinese are doing. 1 week. Like, dude, every single player he's got 20...
Whenever ArenaNet publicize their revenue, their yearly revenue, that includes the Chinese version? Because if that's the case, then God bless, some numbers are seriously skewed. Like, that's crazy, because most of the money, I bet, comes from there. I bet it doesn't even come from, like, the Western version.
$5. Dude, I'm gonna make my dad an account and I'm gonna buy this for my dad. Like, everybody's gonna buy this. You know what? At that rate, I'll throw him in a music infusion and maybe a confetti. Because why not? And a shining blade. I'll make him play a sword-wielding spec. Yo, Lord of Us, thank you so much for the sub as well, my man. Thank you.
The permanent contract value pack is, like, insane.
If ANET was ever in money trouble, if they just opened this pack up on the gem store, well, actually, as a creator, this would be a wet dream. I'm not gonna...
Oh, like, what's the difference between from the shop versus Gold Exchange and buying it in the game? Because they offer, like, a direct way for you to buy that. Guild Wars 2 in the West does it in a very obscure way to kind of prevent from, you know, smearing its name with pay to win. But, yeah, the difference in price is, like, massive. Because if you're stupid enough to convert gems to gold and actually buy this, it's going to set you back, like, hundreds of dollars. And here, it's, like, just a couple of euros. So, that's, like, the difference. But, you're technically right. You can buy that. You can convert gems into gold, and you can purchase that from the, you know, the auction house. But it'll set you back a ton of money in real life. And that's, like, even if you have the money to do so, I think, generally speaking, like, that's very, very stupid. But you are right that the option shouldn't exist inside of the game. I 100% agree with you there.
Why?
The Chinese shop is better? Yeah, that's the entire point. It is better. It is better. They just don't pretend.
Is the Reddit and the forums completely exploding? Like, I'm not talking one video on the reaction.
They're being shameless about it.
1,000 videos on 1,000 reactions that are gonna be, like, insane. Because you're gonna have people like me, right? Who've, like, been spending the last few years to deck out their accounts. So we got the permanent, like, well, we have the permanent crafting, the permanent trading express. I'm a bit of a degenerate. I don't have the permanent merchant. No, instead, I went for, you know, oh, this is the raid, sorry. I not only have one Gamba contract, but I also have a second one because I thought that was a worse financial decision, which it was. Damn. I have the repair canister. You know what? I am missing the hairstyle contract. At $25, I'm buying the hairstyle contract. Dude.
Bro, Guild Wars 2 has way too many items. Like, it's just, this game, I think part of the, like, the problem of Guild Wars 2 and why new players don't want to play this game, it just, you have way too many items. It's, like, way too much. It's just, like, not fun. You have so many clickables, you have so many stuff. They really need to go back and, like, fix everything and just condense it into, like, a singular thing. It really is just bad. Or maybe they should do it so whenever you gain something, you gain it as an achievement and you don't really have to carry it inside of your inventory. That would, like, save a ton of bag space. Yeah, it just bags inside of bags inside of bags. Yeah, it's just too much. Like, whenever you get something you, like, let's say, something you need for legendary raid armor, instead of, like, keeping it inside of your inventory, it would have a dedicated space inside of your achievement. You're, like, getting an achievement, and now it's saved on your account, and whenever you get all the rest of the pieces, you just get the legendary. I think that would be way more beneficial. It's just, like, it's too much. It's just way too much.
Dude. So you'd have people...
Yeah, you kill a boss and get 20 loot boxes that have 10 loot boxes inside of them and 20 more loot boxes. Yeah, and then you get materials. Great. Absolutely fun.
People, you'd have two camps of people instantly, right?
Yeah, send this man 458 different kinds of containers that have more containers inside right this instant. Oh, you mean just doing, like, your weekly raids?
You'd have two camps of people instantly. Those who have it unlocked, who care enough to be angry as hell, and then those who don't have it and go like... Let's go. Wait, check link. In the meantime, I'm gonna refresh this store page because, like, I cannot believe what I'm seeing.
AKA do a map event. True!
Linka. I
Just
don't
as
like you're
easy.
here. I don't know if Jess is here. This is your territory. You can buy a fractal Omni potion on the gem store. You can buy a fractal Omni potion on the gem store as well. Oh, yo! Keep in mind, these are the sales. You can buy legendary runes. So
Bro,
one
you
rune
can buy
costs you
ascended
60 yuan.
infusions. Oh my god,
So
what
a set of 6 runes, let's say,
You can literally
I
buy
refuse
everything.
to say the 2 numbers that are a meme. Do the math yourself, guys. You can buy legendary runes for less than $50. You can buy the legendary PvP backpack.
So
You
stupid.
can buy. You can buy.
Okay, I'm pretty sure I got the gist of it. I'm like, it's just, he's going to go over the entire shop, and like, I'm not feeling like watching it. It's just making me like feel mad. Let's see if there's anything like more interesting here. Okay, super rare infusions.
Them all. So the confettis are on sale, right?
Yeah, we saw that. Let's see if there's
so
any more.
I've
Whoa,
shared
whoa!
the story. I haven't played a game.
$400 celebration of birthday decoration. Oh damn! It might be like an event item. Like, can you buy that? That's crazy. My God. Blessings of the Otters? What the hell is that? Right, you can purchase plus 16 infusions. What's the point of playing the game? Dude, what? If you can just buy, like, the infusions for, like, Ascended
Bazooka
and
dog.
all of that, like, what is the point of playing the game? I don't really get it. It's so stupid. My God. Like, it's just... Dude, look at this. Why would you even do fractals? What's the point? It's not stupid hard to farm, so don't play the game. It's so stupid. I see literally no point in this. Listen, if you were actually dumb enough to buy this, go play other games. Like, don't play Guild Wars. Like, well, the entire point is crafting your own legacy and, like, you know, become powerful in your own. What the hell are we doing? What is that? It's so stupid. My God. Yeah, what's that? Chinese Guild Wars 2? Yeah. It is. I mean, imagine. Wait, okay, this is like normal items from the cash shop, so I guess it is what it is. It's like all the other stuff. Yeah. Okay, this is like, okay, I had enough. This is like the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life. I can't believe this is actually real. Listen, it's one thing to pay for skins, right? Even though it's like stupid to like buy legendaries. You directly buy power, but to buy infusions. My God. So stupid. What the hell are we doing? Buying the carrot on the stick is the most nonsensical thing I've ever seen in Guild Wars. Yes. Yeah, what is the point? Okay, you bought all of the plus 16 infusions. What now? What you're gonna do? What are you going to do? Play the game? You're already done. You finished it. You purchased your way to the mountaintop. You've been helipad away. Like you just went on the helicopter. You never did a climb. It's not satisfying. You're not gaining anything out of it. What's the point? Like flexing? It's just all so stupid. I can't see any reason in this. It's just like horrible. Like this is the next patch for Guild Wars 2, by the way. Kekel. Yeah. Let me just click this. I wonder if people banned on Western Guild Wars 2 can play Chinese Guild Wars 2. I think so. It's a completely different client. But you need Chinese ID, so you can't play it anyway. Unless, like, somehow you have Chinese ID. And then it's, like, different. But, yeah, it's pretty much ID locked. It just, what the fuck? Dude, that was, the dumbest shit I've ever seen in my life. I really just don't see the point in this. I just don't see it. It just... What, you buy all of the infusion, and what do? Like, fractals? You're already done. You don't need to do fractals. Like, you're done. There's not a single point in doing so. It's just also fucking in vain. It's so vapid. My God. Okay, let's see. Guys, last video for today. What do you say? It's been it's been a while since I talked about Ashes of Creation, but this video was recommended to me and I really wanted to check it out. By the way, thank you for recommending the Chinese Guild Wars video. It was very, very good. Cool, Zeers. Was a good one. Guys, remember this? Remember Ashes of Cremation? Anyone remembers? His name is Pocket. That's a kind of weird one. No problem. Based. Yeah, keep recommending videos. I like to watch player videos. This was a very good one. I like videos you guys recommend. Asses of Creation scam me out of $50. No, you paid for it, Venom? I thought you were better than this. Ah, how the mighty have fallen. God damn it. Dude, that's crazy. But it's fine, it's fine. Everyone wanted to believe, right? Everyone wanted to be buying PvP leggy backpack before trying PvP. Yeah, I guess it is what it is. Guys, let's finish on a high note. What do you say? Only the best wrecked? Yeah, I'm saying this. Let's finish on a high note, boys. We're gonna do this. Oh, wait, let me just take my camera down. Hopium? No, this is gonna be a good one. I can tell. I can tell. Man, I wish how life would have seen if I wasn't bald and wearing a wig. Let's see. Anyway, but we watched all of the viewers' recommended videos today, so that means on the next week, we can just, like, play video games. And it's good, because I really want to focus on Guild Wars 2 tomorrow, and then, like, Warcraft. Yeah, finish on a brown note! Finish on a brown note the way Ashes went to shit? Based. Absolutely. But yeah, remember Ashes of Creation? Apparently, we have another video, and this is a good one. How Ashes of Creation pulled a 9-year-old MMO scam. Oh my fucking days, dude, this is going to be a good one. I can already tell this is going to be a good one. You remember Ashes of Creation? Well, we all do.
Ashes of Creation is one of the longest running scams in gaming history. For 9 years
biggest
it collected
one.
money for an MMO it never finished. Then at early access, it charged $50 at the door, outsold every other game on Steam, and was dead 52 days later. Pulling that off is not luck. Somebody built a machine.
Bro, we reached level in humanity I never wished we'd reach. A game that sold on Steam and outsold every other game on the market at the time crumbled after 52 days. Yeah, we're living at that time, Chief.
Machine for it, and the entire
That's a
lie
good one.
began in the spring of 2017 by a man almost nobody in gaming had ever heard of.
Yeah, Let's See
He
Pirates
arrived
off their
with a
favorite
trailer,
game.
a website full of concept
Yes.
art, and a crowdfunding pitch so good almost nobody thought to check it.
Dude, I remember that. I
Concept art.
remember that.
The crowdfunding
Listen, I almost donated to the Kickstarter, and then my second brain cell started to activate, so I guess, like, the neurons did something, and I didn't go for it. That's so good. Look at this. Look at the sheet of promises. That's how you know. That's, like, the doctrine for, like, an MMORPG scams. That's, like, the Bible. You have parlor games, cute small pets, group mounts, backers-only weapon skin, enhanced naval content, backer-only armor skin. Bro, we didn't get any of that. That's crazy. And the basic pack was $25. Holy shit. 1 month of game time, your name formally recognized within the game credits, access to in-game chat emoji pack, additional character creation customization options. Oh my god. Holy shit. How people didn't see into that. That's wild. Yeah, I got my refund back because I played Ass in Creation for like 15 minutes and I was like, this looked like ass, it feels like shit. Yeah, good. Good. There are people who liked what Ashes of Creation was offering, the grindy MMORPG with open world PvP, the regional auction house and trade routes and stuff. Yeah, these people are an indicator of everything you shouldn't go for. The PvP and MMORPG crowd is the minority. You should always know that. No open world PvP MMORPG has ever worked for a reason. Nobody wants that. If you want to play big PvP, go play League of Legends.
pitch so good almost nobody thought to
MMORPG's on
check
for
it.
you.
The pitch was a world called Vera, a high fantasy realm where the map
Politics.
itself reacted to the people playing on it. Cities would rise wherever players gathered, grow from camps into metropolises, and burn back down to ash when rival players laid siege to them. A tavern you helped build could become the heart of a city, and a city you hated could be wiped off the map by its neighbours. Your choices were supposed to
Sounds
be
like
permanent,
fun.
because the world was supposed to be permanent. In the campaign's own words, this was a
Yeah, it's permanently dead.
non-faction based, no pay-to-win game. An invitation to change the face of the genre. The timing could not have been better. World of Warcraft was aging, and the joke in the genre was a decade old by then. Every few years a new game got crowned the WoW killer, and every WoW killer ended up in the same graveyard. Warhammer Online had come and gone. WildStar was in the middle of dying, right as this Kickstarter went live. An entire generation of players that grew up on MMOs.
Don't worry, guys. The Riot MMO is in the works. Surely, in 30 years from now, we're gonna have a great MMORPG again. But until then, we're going to keep playing Classic.
Were craving for something new. And for that crowd, this pitch landed like rain in a drought. Ashes of Creation did not even sound far away. The talk around that first campaign pointed at a playable world within about 3 years, with 2020 as the year fans circled on the calendar. So on the 1st of May 2017, the Kickstarter went live asking for 7.
I bet Steven went like, oh, it's going to be released in 3 years, and then he saw the amount of money he got based on people doing some black market copying dealing levels, and he went like, damn, I can stretch this far longer. And he like went on with it until he just flew way too close to the sun and eventually got sued into oblivion. So it just, yeah, it is what it is. Oh, GeneralApple, what are you watching? Oh, the downfall of Ashes of Creation. And this covers it in way more like detail. And we're just having fun at it because, you know, at least that's all we have.
$750,000.
Just another MMORPG in the gutter.
Studio, Intrepid, celebrated crossing that goal in under 12 hours with a same-day update. A day in, pledges passed $900,000. By the time the campaign closed in June, it had collected $3.27 million from over 19,500 backers. The biggest Kickstarter any massively multiplayer game had ever run. Near the bottom of that campaign page, easy to skim past on the way to the reward tiers, sat a promise. And it read, "In the case that Ashes of Creation does not launch, we promise to refund all backers in full."
Ooh.
Keep those words in your head. They were the
Not
only
something
safety
the
net
court
under
would
every
like to
backer on
see.
that page. And when the day finally came to test them, they would prove to be extremely contentious. The page held one more mechanism, and this one went to work immediately. Ashes of Creation ran a referral program. Recruit a new buyer with your personal link, and Intrepid would hand you 15% of everything that person ever spent.
A cult indoctrination program. Nice. Hey, bro, you want to get in? Like, I'm telling you, like, what is this, like, Steven guy? Why is he wearing, like, why does he look like a shadowy figure and he was wearing a robe? No, don't mind that. Don't mind that. If you go through my link, you're gonna get a bunny mount. Damn. I'm in.
All of it paid in
Sign me
credit,
up.
with cash payouts promised for after the game launched.
Looks so
Referral
garbage.
schemes
Holy
were
crap.
against Kickstarter's rules, and nothing happened to the campaign.
Of course.
Within 4 days of it going live, gaming press was already asking where they had seen this structure before. The answer had been standing in front of the camera the whole time. Stephen Sharif, the founder of Intrepid Studios, and the creative director selling this dream.
That is
was
a
man
pyramid
with an
scheme at its
interesting
finest.
resume.
No,
At
it's
18,
MLM.
he
It's
had been
multi-level
recruited into
marketing.
a multi-level marketing company
the-
called Zango, the kind of business where you earn a cut.
MLM is, by the way, just a fancy name for a pyramid scheme, okay? It's like a very, very gray market. It's pretty much just a pyramid scheme, and everyone knows that. And I remember when people talked about Steven Past, like, it was a very known thing. People knew about that. Everyone turned a blind eye. Why? Because they wanted to believe that this man can save us out of our desperation for a good MMORPG. Man, how delusional we were back in the day. It's crazy. At least I sobered up relatively quickly, but people kept on with the delusion until the very end. And believe it or not, some people still do.
Of everything spent by the people you recruit, and recruiting is the real product. The fortune he built afterward came,
It's a
he
triangle,
said,
it's
from
different.
real estate.
Oh.
Now he was a millionaire making the game of his dreams, and the story he told about its money was even better than the game. Ashes of Creation, he said over and over, was being funded by himself.
Yes.
No publisher, no corporate overlords, just one rich believer paying for the dream out of his own pocket.
Man, Steven really didn't think it's true. This true. Sorry. Like, he really did not think about anything. He thought he wouldn't be sued. Bro, every single thing he said is documented. This guy's cooked in court. Like, what is he going to say to the judge? Like, oh, yeah, I had backers that were in the shadows, but I said that I funded everything by myself? What? This guy's cooked.
The number attached to that story over the years sat somewhere between $30 and $60 million of his own personal wealth. It was the perfect shield. A passion project cannot be milking its fans, when the founder is supposedly the one paying for everything. And so, with the record broken and the shield in place, the strangest store in gaming opened its doors. It sold nothing you could play. While the game itself existed mostly as trailers and development streams, Intrepid's website ran a live cosmetics shop, with skins priced at up to $25 a piece. Armor sets, mounts, pets, building styles. All of them finished, polished, and paid for, in a world that had not been built.
Crazy.
Those items would simply be waiting.
They sold skins that never existed. Bro, even Blizzard is not that shameless. How can you do that? How can you be greedier than Blizzard? Like, that's an achievement all by itself. It should be like its own separate crime. They should actually, like, get Steven on. Yet, still even after Ashes, there are a bunch of people buying 6K ships on Star Citizen. Brother, the people on Star Citizen cannot be saved. This is some black market level of copium dealings. We're not gonna reach them. They're too far gone. Just let them. Let them believe. Okay? Just, it's all they have left.
For you, whenever the game arrived. And the shop had a trick to it. The packs rotated, so every month the current cosmetics left the store for good, and new ones took their place, which meant hesitation had a price. If you believed in this game at all, waiting was the one thing you could not afford to do. And it worked. By the middle of 2018, 500,000 people had registered accounts on the official website, and 40,000 of them had already paid for access to test versions that mostly did not exist yet. Years later, the shop's lifetime earnings was reported at over $45 million from cosmetics alone.
What?
Not everyone was comfortable with it either.
What?
Even people excited for the game.
They made 45 millions from skins? Whoa! Dude, wait, what? At one point, Steven Sharif announced that Ashes of Creation made over 45 millions from in-game cosmetics for a game that didn't exist. Bro, no wonder we keep getting milked. MMORPG players are stupid. Holy, dude, that's insane. You know what's funny about all of this? He could have actually taken that money and make a good MMO. Like, he could have done that. He could have just paid someone that is actually competent and actually made something good out of it. Like, what's the point of the milking? Like, at which point you just look at the amount of money you make and you're like, damn, like, maybe I should do something with it. It's insane. And your dad danced in a maid outfit for me? What? Okay, what happened to those people who bought $500 cosmetic packs? Really, I don't think you wish to know.
Game found the rhythm of it strange, with fresh, paid packs arriving month after month, while the game itself was still concept art and promises, and plenty of early believers admitted the constant selling left a bad taste. The question was always the same. Why does an unfinished game need a finished store? Sharif had an answer for anyone who raised an eyebrow.
Because first you build a store, then you build a game. That's how you do it. Of course. Everyone knows that. Money first, fun later.
Ashes of Creation.
There were
he
packs for
explained in
$10,000
would run
for
on a
Ashes?
$15 a month subscription with no upfront cost, so the shop was never anything sinister. The cosmetics existed, in his words, to provide a richer experience of visual diversity.
No, you should have caught him here. Like, the intent behind cosmetics is to provide a richer. That's it. Like, the rest of the sentence is like, it's irrelevant. This is the part. You need to put the dot here.
And to keep players playing and staying subscried.
That
Gaming
comment was
outlets
not for
summed the
you? Yeah,
position
that
up
confused me.
as a subscription game with a purely cosmetic marketplace.
I was like, why would my father dance for you in a maid outfit? Trust me, nobody wants that. It's a lose-lose situation. I would know.
Optional fashion, nothing more. Strip away the fantasy art though, and the offer underneath was strange. Give us money now for things you cannot use, in a game you cannot play, and trust that both will one day exist.
Yeah. Oh, Steven should have had like a senior project manager, supervisor or something to manage a different department while Steven stayed founder and owner, but no, he needed to be the one who managed. Yes, because it was like an absolute man-child who wanted to control every single thing, and he wanted to feel like he was the one in charge. It's basically like those rich people, like the mega rich people that are so bored with their lives, they make up stuff for themselves to do. Because they never were poor, they never felt what it was like to have an actual job, so they make up things for them to enjoy. It's like those very rich husbands that buy their wives at like a tiny store they could manage just so they have something to do. Steven did the exact same thing, but for himself. That's pretty much the exact scenario. And very, very fast, they realize that they have absolutely no authority and they have nobody's respect because they don't know how to manage. And they don't know how to manage other people, they don't know how to manage money, and definitely not such a large-scale project.
Thousands of people took that offer every month for years. And every dollar, the studio said, was going back into funding the development. So what was
the
all that
development
money
of his
actually
house
building? The first answer eventually arrived, and it was a battle royale. In December of 2018, Intrepid released Ashes of Creation Apocalypse, a free standalone last man standing shooter.
This was where the first cracks were really shown for me. Until that point, I believed in Ashes of Creation. This was the major turning point for me, personally. I was like, why are we jumping on the Battle Royale craze instead of making a great MMORPG? That was very suspicious, and I remember vividly Steven's excuse. He said on the developer update that this helped catching some serious bugs within the game, and I was like, how? Like, no way that's real. No way he's saying the truth. So this is where it all began for me. Like, I knew this was just another quick, lazy attempt for a cash grab, and everyone just, refused to believe it. He managed Ashes of Creation, hiring private chefs and buying antiques. No, we also bought Magic the Gathering cards. Clearly, a well-necessary investment.
Arriving right in the middle of the Fortnite gold rush.
Also, it was not a private chef, it was a culinary expert, so please, stop misconstruing.
The studio called it a testing ground for the real game.
How dare you?
A way to prove out combat and servers with thousands of players at once. To the people who had backed a sprawling fantasy world, it looked like their dream game's budget was off chasing someone else's trend. The complaint underneath was simple. People had paid for a fantasy epic, and what showed up was a shooter. And whatever it was testing, Apocalypse arrived with its own cash shop. A free tech demo for an unfinished game was now selling cosmetics of its own, with a new promise attached. Buy them here and they would transfer into the main game whenever it arrived. Promises stacked on promises. Some players repeated the studio's line, that this was a test, that nobody was forced to buy anything, and to be fair to them, the fine print said exactly that. Others, including backers who had spent thousands, were already leaving reviews with the word scam in them, and that was in 2019. The studio's patience for that kind of talk had limits. The review sitting at the top of Apocalypse's Steam page, with 500 upvotes behind it, came from a backer, $1,000 into this project, who had come to see the whole operation as greed in a fantasy costume. Another backer, in for the same $1,000, wrote that Intrepid had banned his account outright after his reviews turned critical, locking him out of everything he had paid for. And his story was not the only.
Silencing the opposition. Silencing the truth speaker. Holy, that's how it starts. That should be the first indicator that something is going wrong.
Only one like it. For what it was worth, the test itself never drew a crowd. Apocalypse peaked at 832 players on Steam, and in March 2020, Intrepid switched it off for good. The cosmetics people had bought in it became promises waiting on a main game that still had no date. And about that date, 2020, the year fans had marked back during the Kickstarter, arrived and left without a launch, or even one on the calendar. During the same stretch, Intrepid had signed a $60 million publishing deal with a Chinese games company called iDreamSky. 5 years, a large cut of future revenue, and then the deal fell through, taking with it money the studio had already planned around. Publicly, none of it slowed anything down. The shop kept rotating, the development streams kept streaming, and the next thing Intrepid put a price on was admission to a test. In July of 2021, a little over 4...
Listen, guys, I'm sorry, but if you pay real-life money to test someone else's game, you're a fool. Like, you should be institutionalized. That was literally the reddest flag. It wasn't even a red flag, it was a black flag. Okay, the ship has already sunk.
4 years after the Kickstarter closed, backers finally got their first real sessions inside the world of Vera. Alpha 1 had arrived, and the entry fee was $500. That money bought a bundle built around one privilege: a few scheduled weeks inside an openly unfinished build, doing the kind of work studios once paid testers to do. And that was the accessible tier.
But why would you pay that?
From there, price rung by price rung.
But they can pay you.
And at the top of that ladder sat one called the Avatar of the Phoenix, priced at $10,000. 5 people bought it. 5 months after Alpha 1 wrapped, Intrepid announced it was moving the entire game from Unreal Engine 4 to Unreal Engine
Rip bozos.
5. The studio framed the swap as an investment in faster development.
$500 alpha
read
keys.
it as the clock resetting by
What,
years.
you poor?
And the dark joke in the threads was that you would finally get to play Ashes of Creation sometime in the next decade. Either way, the finished game had never felt further away, and the shop kept selling all the same.
It's coming.
A reasonable person watching
Next
from
decade,
outside
surely.
might line those 3 beats up and ask an uncomfortable question. The publisher money vanishes. The next move is a $500 ticket into an unfinished build. The move after that pushes the finish line years further out, even though shipping the Unreal Engine 4 version as it stood would have finally turned years of promises into an ordinary, revenue-earning game. Why choose more distance instead? There was never a public answer, and by then, the cost of asking too loudly was already on record. Then, in December 2022, the biggest lifeline Ashes of Creation would ever be offered came knocking, in a meeting almost nobody outside the company knew about at the time. According to filings Sharif himself placed in federal court years later, once all of this had collapsed into lawsuits, Riot Games, the studio behind League of Legends, explored investing in Intrepid or acquiring it outright.
I imagine someone from Riot went like, damn, you know, you're getting a lot of traction. Can we check out the game? And Steven went like, listen, we have this, we have that. And then the guy at Riot was like, nah, I'm out. And that's it. No way that someone competent working at Riot would look at Ashes of Creation State and be like, damn, like these guys are cooking. Like, obviously they were scamming. They were scamming out of their damn minds. And Riot would be damned if they signed any form of contract with them. It's so insane.
And arrange his paperwork put between $250 and $500 million.
Yeah, and also if you need $250 million after already getting like over $50 million, clearly something is not going right. Clearly. So like, what are we even talking about here? More money isn't going to help anyone. You'll just be throwing cash into the furnace. That would be the dumbest investment you could have ever possibly do. It's way more beneficial for you to invest in random crypto than in Steven Sharif project.
And the man who allegedly talked him out of taking it was Robert Dawson, the chairman of Intrepid's board of directors. What Dawson stood to gain by keeping that rescue out is a question a federal court is still working through. Whatever really happened in that room, the outcome is not in dispute. There was no sale and no outside rescue, and the project rolled on, powered by the only fuel anyone could see: the shop, the packages, and the founder's famous personal fortune, which meant the ladder of paid test access needed new rungs. In August of 2024, Intrepid opened sales for Alpha 2, this time in waves, at $100 to $120 a bundle, with standalone keys and fatter packs running as high as $375. The stated reason for charging at all was infrastructure, realm, and server delivery costs for a live service product. And then came the warning label. Intrepid told its own customers, please do not consider purchasing testing access to Ashes of Creation if your intent is to play a completed game. It will be rough, buggy, and require dedicated players who are willing to be testers. That is a studio charging admission, while telling you not to expect a game at the door. A zoo charging full price at the gate, with a sign warning you not to expect animals in the enclosures. And people paid anyway. Reporting later put numbers on the whole pre-launch package economy. About 10,000 people in the most expensive packages, roughly 100,000 more in the mid-tier ones, somewhere around $25 million in packages sold before the game ever had a launch day. None of this happened quietly either. Ashes of Creation was one of the most watched.
Bro, I bet the Star Citizen people looking at this and they're like, ha, amateurs.
Development stories on the internet, and the biggest creators in the space covered every showcase. Whatever doubts you carried, there was always a familiar face on screen treating all of this as normal.
Yep, lazy peon.
Even the skeptical ones gave it the benefit of the doubt. Though with this particular game, cheering people through the door was not always unpaid work, and through all of it, the money kept looking like a success story. What nobody outside could see was that inside Intrepid, by the end of 2020,
Bro, Lazy Peon probably drained more people than Pokemon in Rule 34. That's crazy. Like, he truly owes one giant apology to all of his fans. Like, I stopped watching him years ago because he started shilling for, like, really weird mobile games that were extremely sketchy. But the Ashes of Creation thing was definitely the worst thing he's ever done, and he never really apologized for it. He just said, look, I'm willing to get punched in the face, and I'm like, dog, just say that you're sorry. Like, you led so many people astray. Like, how can you do that? It's insane. Yeah, Lazy Peon is not even a gamer anymore. His heart got crushed in New World. I feel that. I can somewhat sympathize with that. Yeah, Lazy Peon was devastated. Took like 2 weeks off of this. Yeah, because of all the backlash. Like, he knew what's coming. Of course. Of course he would take 2 weeks off. Like, his apology was the worst one I've seen. At least all of the other content creators that I've seen, like, obviously we went after, like, all of them, right? We watched all of the Ashes of Creation apology videos. I think the best one was Kanon. Kanon just went on video, just went on camera, and was like, I was stupid, I was wrong. And I respect that. I respect that. He just went on camera, looked us dead in the face, and went like, I was wrong. And I was stupid to fall for Ashes of Creation, I was blind. And the other guy was Nice Gaming. Nice Gaming was also said that, like, he was stupid, he was blind, and he was sorry for anyone who ever clicked his link. I thought it was a great move. You did something stupid, you apologize for it. Lazy Peon never apologized. And how these two weirdos were called? Wait, let's see them. Yeah, there were two people that I covered that were funny. One of them was the Copium Clinic. The one, like, this guy, Clinic. This guy, this dude was the one. Oh, he lost 1K subs? Okay, good. I'm glad. This guy, by the way, who removed all of his videos, was clowning on Narc 24/7. Narc, who was right about every single thing. This guy clowned on him non-stop. I remember his video. Obviously, he removed it. You can't watch it anymore. But definitely there's got to be, like, reactions to it somewhere. So you might be able to find the video still. And he was so embarrassed after Ashes of Creation fell apart because he was running defense for Steven 24/7. So he ended up just coming back and, like, made a video, what's wrong with Ashes? Nobody watched that because nobody cares about him anymore. And then he just quit. Classic. And there was the other dude too. What was his name? I covered him. Rorior, I think. Rorior Ashes of Creation. I think that was his name. Let's see if I can find him. Yeah, this is it. Deleted all of his videos. Every single video deleted. And we watched all of that, by the way. Yeah, he stopped uploading 5 months ago. So, these are the type of people who ran defense for Ashes of Creation. By the way, he had an insane amount of videos on it. He lost 1K subs as well. I have more than him now. Damn, that's crazy. Okay, yeah, these people actually, yeah, they ran defense for Ashes of Creation. Can you imagine that? Warrior was on Scars of Honor wagon last time I checked. Yeah, I think he gave up relatively quick though, which little to no surprise. He just gave up. And you know what? Good. These people had no dignity. They were willing to shamelessly call out other content creators for speaking the truth and pointing out the obvious. And whenever push comes to shove and Ashes of Creation imploded, they roached out. They didn't have the honor to say that they were wrong. They simply terminated their own channels. Shame on them. Shame on them. These are the type of people that I got dislike bombed for. Every single Ashes of Creation call out video that I ever made got 50% dislike to like ratio because of these weirdos.
24, paychecks had reportedly started running late. For a project that had been selling something non-stop.
I think Lazy Peon said it was sorry in his video. He said it, but he said it like he didn't say I was wrong. I'm not looking for the obligatory I'm sorry, I'm looking for deep contrition. Because people clicked his link and people were fooled and lost their money because of him. It's not like, oh, I was wrong about a prediction. Like, no. He actively shilled for the game and people lost money.
Since 2017, that should have been impossible. Unless, of course,
that's
the
the problem
selling
I
had
have.
never actually covered the bills. Because
fuck. Listen, sorry for pausing all the time, okay? Just really important for me. The moment other people loses money because of you, like, you're liable. You're liable for something. Like, streaming, it's something, okay? People actually listen to you. You have responsibility. I don't care that people saying, like, oh, streaming is, like, for nothing. Like, nobody really cares. Like, people sometimes care. And whenever people care and they listen and they adhere to your word, you have responsibility. And if you use that in a bad direction, that you're liable to.
By 2025, Ashes of Creation, the game, was still years from finished. But Ashes of Creation, the business, was complete. A machine with 3 visible moving parts running day and night.
I'll try my best not to pause
still
anymore,
rotating
okay?
packs out of the store every month. 8 years into development, the ladder of paid test access kept reselling the same unfinished world, wave after wave, at whatever price the market would bear that year. And the piece that had been there since the very first week was still running too. The referral engine by now has sunk its claws into the community. It worked like this. Every player had a personal link, and anyone who signed up through yours and spent money was partly spending it for you.
It's a pyramid
15%
scheme.
of everything they ever bought came back to you as store credit, with an official promise of real cash payouts quarterly once the game released. In practice, that turned every believer into a salesman. Your guild mates were your customers. Recruiting for your server meant recruiting for the store. And every loud skeptic in your community was, in a very real sense, costing you money. The most passionate corners of the fan base had a financial stake in the hype staying alive, and the cash half of the deal only ever paid out if the game actually came out. All those years of glowing creator videos sit somewhere in that math, and the honest answer is that nobody outside Intrepid ever knew how many of them had a referral link waiting in the description. Now, the generous read of all this existed, and plenty of reasonable people held it. Ambitious online worlds really do take a decade. Testing at scale really does cost server money. Nobody was ever forced to buy anything. So a large part of the community brushed it off as just aggressive funding for a dream running long. And so the question of why an unfinished game needed all this was ignored for a long time. Then the studio's internal numbers surfaced.
Why a self-proclaimed fully funded game needed that? That's the better question.
After everything collapsed and answered it.
Yeah, by the way, at this point I completely quit. And the only reason I quit is because I knew they were lying through their teeth the moment you work on a game for 8+ years, and this is the most basic thing that you're getting inside of the game. You work on a game, an MMORPG, and you have no classes whatsoever. That was the reddest flag I've ever seen in my entire life. That's why I quit. I saw the board and I went like, no way this is real. They're not really working on the game. It's all for show. It's fake.
Properly. According to figures from inside the company, Intrepid was by then spending more than $2.5 million every single month.
Damn, how many villas he
shop,
was purchasing?
The engine
That's
that
crazy.
justified all those years of selling.
How many mentions?
Was by then down to somewhere between $150,000 and $200,000 a month, which means the store covered less than a tenth of what the company burned, and every month, roughly $2.3 million more went out than came in. For Intrepid, an unfinished game lives on what it promises, and promises were the only product Intrepid ever learned to scale and sell. The one event this business could not survive was its own launch, because the truth would be finally out of the bag, and all that monthly revenue would disappear. The other thing it could not survive was doubt, and right at the start of 2025, the machine showed everyone what it did to believers who stopped believing. No creator had covered Ashes of Creation longer than a YouTuber named Narc, who spent 4 years making videos on the unreleased game.
Yep.
That January, in what he announced as his last video on the game, he catalogued the operation piece by piece. Promises outrunning the product, communication he called deceptive, a test he called unplayable, and a referral system he compared to multi-level marketing and Ponzi schemes. He was
based Giga Chad. He was truly the best of us. And I always knew that he was right, and everyone else hated him for it. God damn it, man. It takes a toll on you to be vindicated like Narc had, but I still feel like it's not enough.
Careful, on camera, to say he was not calling
250k on
Ashes of
Uber
Creation
Eats?
a scam.
Oh.
Regardless, it did not save him. Sharif's
Yeah, you're right about Warrior. Yeah, I reacted to his apology video. It was hilarious.
Branded the claims unfounded, false and defamatory, and filed the whole video under toxicity. This in turn resulted in tons of irrational hate towards Narc from die-hard fans who believed in Ashes of Creation. Pirate Software, 500 hours deep in the alpha, and one of the loudest supporters of Ashes of Creation, sat across from Asmongold within the week to rebut the criticism and told his own doubters that the developers did.
Have we ever gotten something out of Pirate Software that wasn't an absolutely massive L? Did Pirate Software ever have a W? I literally, like, this man collects L like Infinity Stones. Every single thing, like, easiest W you can ever pick up, like the Stop Killing Games movement, he fumbled. Every single thing. What are we doing here? By the way, I watched Pirate Software cover the Ashes of Creation after it imploded. He claimed that he knew. That was a joke. Everyone dislike bombed this video. It's like, it's so stupid. Like, it was so stupid. It's so funny. It was just hilarious to see. Like, whenever Pirate Software speaks about anything, just do the exact opposite and you know what's right.
Not deserve unwarranted hate. 13 months later, there would be a very different.
Yeah, first
video
and
on his
second
channel.
generation Nepo baby.
Pirate Software would go on to suffer his own fall from grace. But that January, the defense.
Yeah, we don't talk about that anymore.
Finished what the studio started, and the man who had covered this.
Bro, that's crazy that I have the same views as Pirate Software now. Nobody watches him. Like, nobody watch him. It's insane. He's an L lol cow? Yeah, exactly. But I didn't expect his fall from grace to be that massive. He lost everything. Everything. He used to be at the top, now he's barely getting 1K. Nobody watch him anymore. Like, that's insane. Like, I can't believe people hate him so much. But to be fair, he, like, leaned into that villain role. He did all of that by himself.
This game longer than anyone, walked off into months of abuse from the same believers.
Oh yeah,
who'd
he
spent
worked
those
at
years
Blizzard, by the way.
entertaining. Every so often, the mask slipped in public too.
I don't know if you know that.
In late 2025, a cloud computing provider called SADA sued Intrepid over roughly $850,000 in unpaid Google Cloud bills, covering more than 3 years of unpaid fees. Sharif brushed the lawsuit off as a contract dispute and offered some perspective. That amount, he said, was about a week's worth of the studio's operating expenses. He meant it as reassurance, but by his own math, the studio was spending $850,000 a week, which lands even above the internal figures. Millions out the door every month, no matter whose version you believe. Which left one glaring question. If the shop covered 1/10 of the bills, who was covering the rest? The public answer had not changed since the Kickstarter. The founder, personally, out of the famous fortune. For that to be true, Sharif had to be absorbing nearly $28 million a year, every year, and smiling about it on stream every week. Either he was the most generous man in the history of this industry, or the money was coming from somewhere nobody could see. Either way, by that autumn, the machine was visibly straining, and a machine under strain needs a bigger wave. There was exactly one wave left that Intrepid had never sold. An actual launch can be delayed no further. The community, meanwhile, had spent years sorting itself into 2 camps, and the launch was about to put them in the same room. Inside the official forums and the game's own subreddit, the believers held
doomers and the
walls,
believers.
criticism got you labelled a hater, and the project's slogans did the arguing. Outside, in the wider online game communities, Ashes of Creation had long since become a joke, and by the summer of 2025, the version everyone told was that this was Star Citizen, with more elves. In November of 2025...
I love that whenever you talk about pinnacle greed in video games, it's like, bro, that's such a Star Citizen move. It's like everyone knows by now. I think that the people who are actually buying into Star Citizen even know that, but they're like just scoping out of their minds. Like, everyone knows at this point, like, this game is a massive scam.
1 month before that launch, while both camps were sharpening their arguments, Stephen Sharif handled one small piece of personal business. He sold his house. The buyer was John Moore,
Yeah.
Intrepid's head of operations, who also
What a
happened to be his
coincidence.
husband. Almost nobody noticed, and at the time, it meant nothing. In a story about where 9 years of other people's money went, it would end up coming to bite them down the road. Then launch day
Interesting.
arrived, December 11th, 2025, and for one weekend, the believers looked right. The Alpha 2 build, relabeled Early Access and priced at $49.99, went up on Steam and sold like a phenomenon. Veterans of World of Warcraft and Final Fantasy XIV poured in to size up a possible new home for the next 10 years of their lives. At its peak, 31,882 people were inside Vera at once, enough to jam the login queues, and the studio reported fighting off a denial of service.
What? Star Citizen has so much content creep. Please keep on adding more and more and more. Stop. Stop. Okay, let's not go there.
Attack on top of it.
Enough.
9 years of promises were finally, technically, a product, and the product was selling. The honeymoon lasted about 48 hours. By December 13th, players were reporting
It's
that
too
negative
much.
reviews and comments were deleted across the game's official channels, including complaints from people who had spent hundreds, even thousands of dollars on packages to support the project over the years. The review score settled at mostly negative, and it was clear that the fans are starting to realise the dark truth behind Ashes of Creation. Professional critics were not kinder. The most generous major review still landed under 6 out of 10, and the conclusion everywhere was the same one: a glorified test environment, dressed up as a product and sold at a launch price. The systems the Kickstarter had sold, the living player-built cities, the sieges, the player-run trade routes, existed as merely placeholders, or in some cases, not even mentioned at all. And underneath the noise, the number that mattered was already moving. By the last full week of January, the weekly peak inside Vera had fallen to 15,778. Half the launch crowd gone in about 7 weeks. On its own, that is a bad but survivable launch curve, the kind live games sometimes climb back out of. What nobody playing the game could know was that the people in charge of saving it had already begun doing something else entirely. By the account Sharif himself later gave under oath in federal court, it started on January 16th, and it came down to a detail almost nobody knew. Intrepid owed money to its own chairman. Robert Dawson, the same board chairman who had allegedly waved off the Riot rescue 3 years earlier, was also the studio's biggest lender. That day, per Sharif's account, the board declared the company in default on that debt, the exact trigger a lender needs to come collecting, and Dawson formed a brand new company, TFE Games Holdings, to call in the loan and take the game itself as payment. Ashes of Creation, the thing every backer thought they had been funding, changed hands in a private sale, allegedly without notice even to the bigger lenders standing in line ahead of him, including the Federal Small Business Administration. And jumping a creditor line like that is the kind of move courts get called in to unwind. The players logging in that week had no idea the world under their feet had just been repossessed. 6 days later, Sharif addressed the community because word of a small round of layoffs had gotten out. 9 people out of 250, he wrote, targeted team adjustments. And then came the sentence that would age worse than any other in this story. The layoffs were not a reflection of the health or future of Ashes of Creation. Sharif was still stubbornly painting a positive future for the...
It's crazy how to the very last day Steven was trying to keep face with everyone. It's just insane. And by the way, I think to this day he still moderates like the Reddit and Discord server, right? So at some point you just look at Steven and you're like, damn, this is like a massive toddler with delusions of grandeur. You can't save him. He doesn't care about anyone but himself. He want to be seen as a god. You saw that previously with how he played, I think it was Lineage 2 and Arcade. He offered people from Top Guild $200 per week to poach them and join his own guild because he couldn't win on his own. Allegedly, right? I should say allegedly because, you know, it's not 100% confirmed, but it's like 99% confirmed. So it goes to show this man was nothing. He had nothing and he lied from the very beginning. It's insane. He's now just a Reddit mod? Yeah, as he should.
Citizens of
Very appropriate.
The 9 became 100 on January 28th, when Intrepid announced it was cutting 100 jobs, roughly 40% of the studio.
At least you can still play Star Citizen, I guess.
Broke into the open. The very next day, the company published an unsigned letter to its players, titled a Director's Letter to the Citizens of Vera. We remain deeply committed, it said, to making it a world worthy of your time, your stories, and your belief. A development livestream was promised for February 13th, and the community grabbed the date like a handrail. 7 weeks of vanishing posts, layoffs, and roadmap silence finally had an official place to get answered. The studio did not have 13 days left. 2 days after that letter, on the last day of January, every remaining employee received an email. Intrepid Studios was shutting down. Effective immediately, every position eliminated. The company that had declared itself deeply committed on a Thursday did not exist by Saturday. By multiple accounts, the staff walked away without final paychecks, without their unused leave paid out, and without severance of any kind. An email that surfaced in court months later allegedly from board member Aaron Bartels, had argued against paying severance or leave at all, while the studio still had staff, because, in his words, these are bottom performers. The official layoff notice eventually filed with the state carried 123 names. The paperwork's count of the jobs still left at the end, though news reports counted everyone at the studio as out of work. Sharif announced his resignation the same day. In protest, he said, over decisions he could not ethically support. Margaret Crone, the studio's director of communications and one of the game's most public faces, posted a farewell that read like something you would hear at a funeral. The heart and soul of the product, she wrote. The amazing dev team was all laid off. Please be kind to the developers. Within 72 hours, the storefront followed the studio. Ashes of Creation vanished from sale over the first weekend of February. And per the federal court record, on February 3rd, Valve terminated Intrepid's partnership with Steam outright.
Base.
That same day, the community met the person now steering what was left. Because Intrepid, the legal entity, still existed on paper.
Yeah, and not only that, Valve was actually freezing the money and tried to offer refunds to players, if I remember correctly. So that's a massive W for Valve.
No, the studio did not. Her name was Karen Barreto, newly in control of that paper company. Nobody watching had ever heard of her, and nobody explained who had put her there. She arrived in the official Discord carrying a renewed long-term vision. Development would somehow continue from China under a subscription model, with optional daily battle passes and a brand new in-game gold shop, which, by the way, went against the single loudest promise on the original Kickstarter page, which proudly claimed there will be no pay-to-win mechanics. Launched to shut down in 52 days. The final wave had carried the machine onto the rocks, with hundreds of thousands of paying customers still aboard. And the first thing those customers did, once the shock wore off, was reach for the two promises they had been given. The old one from the Kickstarter page, and the new one printed on every Steam receipt. What those customers found first was that the war between the two camps had simply ended, because there was nothing left to argue about. The same fan communities that had spent years pushing out doubters filled up with the exact things the doubters used to get banned
fully
for
funded to
saying.
completion.
And the most upvoted threads in the community's history now read
His
like
end goal was the
confessions.
grave.
People who had defended the game for years wrote that the critics had been right the whole time. Apology threads went up for Narc by name, a year too late to matter. And in the
Dude, at this point, Narc was already like a well-established content creator. He made, by the way, in case you don't know, he made his own channel called Moggies, I think, and like he was very, very well off. Like he did really well. Damn. After that, I bet he looked at this and he went like, yo, I need to make a fire comeback video. I really wish he would have done that though. I mean, it's just like wishful thinking, but I still think that Narc needs to come back for one video on his old channel and just absolutely dunk on everyone. He should do like one mega video and that's it. Just call it in, like the mother load.
same breath, the same people organized to get their money back.
Wait, Margaret Crone was a former community marketing lead at ArenaNet for Guild Wars 2? Really? Wait, you think she was in on this with Ashes of Creation? Because I'm so confused, I don't really know.
Here's a sobering measure of how long this alleged scam had run. There were backers who pledged as college freshmen and watched the end arrive as parents nearing 30. Now let's address the refunds. Remember those 18 words from the Kickstarter page? The safety net under every backer. It turned out the whole case came down to the premise that the refunds only apply if the game does not launch.
And they launched
Intrepid's
into
position,
Steam.
as the coverage relayed it, was as simple as it was airtight. Ashes of Creation did launch. The early access sale, the same build that had been sold with a warning not to expect a finished game, legally counted as a launch. The trigger never fired, no refunds were owed, and once the studio ceased to exist, there was nobody left to owe them anyway. Those 18 words had been written with an escape hatch, and the escape hatch was the launch itself. This was also perhaps why Intrepid went ahead with the early access launch, despite being aware of the true state of the game. The Steam refunds went no better. Valve's standard refund window is 2 hours of playtime, and this was a massively multiplayer world with launch week login queues. If you bought in at launch, there was a decent chance you burned the entire window just making a character and waiting to get through the door. The store's review pages turned into a wall of identical letters, thousands of them, each addressed to the Steam support team, a coordinated plea for an exception that platform policy was never going to grant. And while customers fought over $50 refunds, a much bigger pot of their money had vanished into the war amongst Intrepid's leaders. The early access launch generated one final payout from Valve, about $3.7 million, described in the fight that followed as the money for the staff's final payroll. It never arrived. Where it went depends entirely on who you ask. One side of the fight, the studio's hidden financiers, alleges the payout was redirected toward paying off a loan on one of Sharif's properties. Sharif's own federal complaint tells the opposite story, that Commerce West, the bank standing at the very front of the creditor line, intercepted the money when the board's foreclosure came to light. Same money, two stories, and a court that has yet to pick one. What nobody disputes is where the money did not go. The developers it was supposed to pay never saw a cent of it. As for the launch itself, Sharif's side would later tell the court it had dramatically exceeded expectations, and on the raw numbers that was true. Close to 199,500 purchases on Steam, roughly $8.2 million in gross sales, most of it inside a few weeks. The machine's final wave, fully collected. And about 2 weeks after the shutdown, the question of where 9 years of collections had actually gone stopped being a community argument, because one of the invisible men behind the money decided to talk. His name was Jason Karamanis, and if you had followed this game from the beginning, you had never once heard it, which was exactly how it was supposed to work. Karamanis was an investor, $12.5 million deep by his own account, and in mid-February of 2026, he went public through a YouTube channel, bringing private documents and, by the report's own description, over 380 pages of text messages with him.
Yeah, Nefasq on YouTube, by the way, if you want to see that.
In one sentence.
Oh, Nefasq.
Sharif, Karamanis claimed, never invested a dime of his own money. The famous self-funded passion projects had, per the leaked documents, been built on other people's cash all along. Upwards.
It's always easy to gamble and scam with money that does not belong to you. Of course. Of course. So easy.
Of $115 million raised from private investors and high-interest loans, while Sharif and his husband each drew roughly $500,000 a year in salary. Even the total amount of cash raised is contested. Karamanis himself puts it closer to $140 million. Pick whichever you like. The dream game with no corporate overlords turns out, in every version, to have owed more than $100 million, a hole the investors say began years earlier, back when that Chinese publishing deal collapsed and the spending it was supposed to cover kept going anyway. Sharif's answer conceded nothing. From the beginning I said that I was personally financing the project, he wrote, and that statement is true. The risk was mine personally. I put my own financial future on the line. Then came the part that made the internet rethink the whole 9-year saga. The hidden money, the allegations went, was not just anyone's. Karamanis had made his fortune at Jeunesse, a multi-level marketing giant where he ranked among the top distributors.
Basically, they're all a bunch of MLM dudes just suing each other. That's good. I love seeing that. I love to see it. I'm not gonna lie. It just put a smile on my face.
And had himself been named in a pyramid scheme
Let them fight. It's the let them fight meme with
fault.
Godzilla.
Another investor, Tom Alkazin, had been permanently banned from multi-level marketing by the United States government. And Karen Barreco, the new leadership who had shown up in the Discord with a battle pass plan for the corpse, co-founder of Vema, another of those companies shut down by federal regulators as a pyramid scheme in 2015. Meanwhile, Sharif, the man who had started out at the multi-level marketing firm Zango, had never left that world behind at all. According to his own investor, he had opted for that bit to stay hidden. "I don't want any of you guys known publicly," Sharif allegedly said, "because multi-level marketing's stinky, and people in the gaming community think they're all pyramids and stinky." Now everything in that stack comes from one side of a very ugly fight, and the other side swings back hard. Sharif's countersuit, filed within days of the allegations, flipped the villain entirely. In his sworn telling, a rogue board led by Dawson had spent months starving a viable company of cash to manufacture a default, then used that default to take the game in January. Both stories cannot be true, and to this day, no court has said which one is. Then, in April, the fight escalated from claims to receipts. On April 11th, Intrepid's entire internal ledger surfaced. For the first time in the saga, it became clear exactly what the company had been spending on over the years. A private chef on the books who, the leak alleged, never cooked a meal for the staff. historical auctions, cigars, more than $2,000 to a trading card reseller.
Bro, why did you have to buy the Pokemon cards? Listen, I can get the private chef, I can get the cigars. And, like, you know what? To a certain degree, I get the antiques. But did you really need to buy, like, Pokemon and Magic the Gathering cards with company money? Like, that's just insult on top of injury.
$700 of Fortnite purchases, and sitting above all of it, a $4.9 million California mansion, bought in 2020 through an entity called, of all things, Gore Oil Company, the kind of shell that keeps a deed a step away from the family name. The same house from that small piece of personal business in November, sold from Sharif to his own husband 1 month before the launch. The purchase everybody now stares at, and the backdrop, viewers realised, of years of development live streams about a game that needed their money. Sharif's response came within 48 hours, and it was total. There was no misappropriation of Kickstarter funds whatsoever, he wrote. The channel had been fed false and defamatory information by individuals with an axe to grind in an effort to litigate the dispute in public instead of in court. False and defamatory. The same 3 words he had aimed at Narc, back when the claims were smaller. And the court, as it happened, was exactly where everything was headed. What followed was months of legal trench warfare over a game that no longer existed. And this is the point where the paperwork starts multiplying faster than anyone can narrate it. If we walked through every motion and counter-motion, we might be here all day. So here's the short version. Months of punches in both directions, and nothing stuck. TFE, the company Dawson had created to take the game, even handed it back to what was left of Intrepid, while a new buyer was hunted for. Which means the clearest winners anywhere in sight were really the lawyers involved in the case. 2 sides, both bloodied, and the game no closer to being revived. The details that leaked out of it were uglier than the rulings, and none of them are settled. Sharif's side accuses the board of dodging an open audit of the debt. The board's side answers with camera footage. It says shows 2 former employees hauling data center hardware into a storage shed. Pick your villain. The court has not. The one thing that did get confirmed came from outside the fight entirely. Mark Merrill, Riot's co-founder, said publicly that the acquisition talks had been real. The rescue this game never took had been on the table all along. As of this video, no court has found anyone guilty of fraud, and the federal case grinds on with no end in sight. But the courtroom is deciding a narrower question than it seems. It is deciding which set of insiders keeps what is left of the money, not whether the machine you just watched was real. That part ran in public for 9 years, documented and priced. The store with nothing behind it, the warning label on the box, the launch that doubled as an escape hatch. Sharif's last public statement, in May, promised that the truth was moving into court, into the record, and into the light. Then he went silent, and as of publication, he has stayed that way. By the end, the biggest voices in the genre, including people who had
Imagine what it's like to be Steven Sharif lawyer. And seeing, like, every single incriminating thing and, like, self-report Steven had done in the past decade. It's like, damn, dog, like, there's only much I can do. What in God's name is it going to say? Like, Steven Sharif 100% is going to be punished. I don't think he would be spending some jail time. I think, like, realistically, they would just milk him for a ton of money. But you know what? That's good enough for me.
Defended this game for years, had all landed on the word the reviews had used since 2019. Scam. Pirate Software's farewell to the game he once defended was a video titled, simply, Ashes of Creation is Dead.
Yes.
And yet, under all of it, in a way almost no...
And he tried to slime his way, like, sounding he was always right about the game. He was like, oh, I quitted Ashes of Creation because I knew this game was going to turn sour. I asked questions, they didn't answer me. Bro, we can always rewind the tapes. Like, that's the beauty of the internet. You can always rewind the tapes and see that the real reason that Pirate Software actually quit Ashes of Creation is because he cried to Steven to ban people who were PvP him and actually destroyed his entire guild. I think it was like a bunch of people that destroyed his entire guild, and he was so embarrassed he called Steven to ban them, and Steven refused to ban them, and then he quit the game. So this is like the unspoken questions Pirate Software had in mind.
But he noticed the game itself was still on. The servers outlived the studio, the way a shop closes overnight and leaves the sign glowing. A week after the shutdown, you could still log into Vera, walk its half-finished roads, and stand in a world whose owners were suing each other over your money. Then, at some point in the following 2 months, it ended. And when April rolled around, there was nothing left to find. No developers, no studio, no servers running. Just a courtroom full of people, arguing over who gets to own the corpse. Looking back at it all, what stays with you is not incompetence, because very little of this was incompetent. It takes a strange kind of craft to keep an unfinished world funded that long in full public view. And the dark truth was sitting in the name the whole time. Ashes of creation. In the game's own lore, it is literal. Vera is a civilization burned down to ash, waiting for your money to rebuild it. And that is the product this machine actually sold. Not a creation, but merely ashes. The remains of a dream, worth nothing on their own, priced at whatever blind believers would pay, for 9 straight years. Whatever the courts eventually decide about where the money went, a deception like that does not run by accident. The game never meant to be the final product, only the promise of the game. And that product worked right up to the day Ashes of Creation finally launched. And if you want to watch a 15-year franchise burn down in a single launch, we told Dragon Age's story in the middle of the screen. Subscribe if...
Oh, hell no. I'm not watching about Dragon Age the Velguard, but God bless, this was such a great video. I already made it like twice as long as it should have been, but I to be honest, it's just Ashes of Creation. I had so many things to say. Wow, what a great video. That was a very methodical cover of every single thing that unfolded during the years. That was crazy. I can't believe that people actually bought into that now that I watch it in retrospect, but I guess MMORPG players will never learn. Anyway, wait, what are we talking about here, guys? Oh, you were talking about the Margaret Crone thing? Like, guys, who cares if she worked for a Rinner or not? Who gives a shit? Like, what are we talking about here? Anyway, guys, we've been streaming for 3 hours. That's impressive. Sorry, I started the stream 1 hour late, so I'll have to probably call it now. Which, it's one of those, like, unfortunate moments. Tomorrow and the rest of the week, I think, we're just going to play video games. We're not going to do any reactions, unless there is a certain video that you guys want me to watch, so feel free to recommend it. But, other than that, guys, I'll see you tomorrow, and the day after that. Make sure to subscribe if you're new here, and, have a good one. Have a great night, or day, depends when you're watching. Thank you for being here, dudes. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good one.